Dimp Digital Presents Idle Game Chat.
Cool.
Hello, Apps here from Dimp Digital. Welcome to Idle Game Chat. This is the weekly video games podcast where we give our impressions of the games that you can play today and react to the latest news from the wonderful world of video games. We are here every Monday on your favourite podcast app and YouTube, absolutely free. This is episode 100, so a slightly different format for this episode. We are still going to have impressions of the games that you can play today. That'll be coming right after this short intro. And then Adkins and I sat down to go through the top 100 games that have appeared on Idle Game Chat. So it was recorded last night. We got on the bubbly, so I'm a little bit hungover as I record this short intro for you guys. But we went through 100 down to 1, so you're going to find out, as ranked by the Dimp Digital crew, what the top 100 games were that have appeared on Idle Game Chat since we started this podcast. Thank you all for listening to this episode. If you've only just started joining us on this journey, then you're very much appreciated. And obviously for the guys that have been here since the very beginning, we appreciate you guys too. But this is a slightly extended episode, what we'd normally do. We're running over 2 hours at least for it, so I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to get out of your way, hand over to myself and Adkins for some game impressions, and then you're going to see the top 100 countdown for the games that appeared on Idle Game Chat. Anyway, I will see you on the other side. Here we are then, some more game impressions here from Apps and Adkins. Well, Adkins this time. We are going to kick things off with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. What is this? Because it's a bundle of two games. It's remade from the ground up.
Jobby.
But plays, well, again, we're going off memories from 20 years ago, so actually I can't validate this, but feels like it's like a Shadow of the Colossus, where it retains the feeling of the original so much that you wouldn't even realise. But yeah, this is the 1+2 bundle. I'm still a bit bitter they didn't do 3, because that's my first personal favourite. And you know why it was my personal favourite? When I was younger,
that was Underground, wasn't it?
Fucking hated time goals. So having you had 2 minutes, don't you? And you're doing this, and you have to do certain objectives within a couple of minutes. And 3 opened it up. They had there'd be 8 things to do in one level, and only one of them would be a time-related score-based thing.
Yeah.
But I used to hate time. I remember going to Electronics Boutique when I was younger, and I wanted a racing game. It was weird thinking about it now, trusting those sharks in there to recommend a game. Anyway, went in there and I was like, oh, he wants a racing game, but it can't have the mode can't be time trial, so it can't be checkpoint based. And to be fair, the bloke came up with this motocross game. I can't remember what it was called. It did have the option to turn that on, but there was also a separate option to turn it off. Anyway, tangent. Got games to be talking about. How's this getting picked up? I'm assuming you're a big fan of the originals, because I
am a big.
Everyone was.
Yeah, everyone's a big fan. Yes, this wasn't a day one purchase. This was a Christmas present.
Ooh.
It was one of those stocking filler-esque things. Yeah, someone had said, "What did you want?" And I was like, "Oh, I really did want this." And I think there was a lot of games at the time when it come out, and I was like, "Right, that's one that doesn't need to be done quick." There's no story element.
Not going to get tweeted a spoiler for Tony Hawk's 1 and 2.
Exactly that.
Fucking hell.
But yeah, I was big fans. I was a skateboarder back in the day, a very poor skateboarder, I'll let you know, but was that sort of thing. So I was a big fan of the original games. Carried on up until I think about Wastelands. I dropped off, I think.
Yeah, I literally did 1, 2, and 3, and then
was
Wastelands after that, or was it Underground?
No, we had Underground 1 and 2.
I fell off at Underground. Thug.
fug. That was the one we could get off your board, and I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you running around doing stuff, and I was a bit like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Wastelands came out. I think that was the last one I played.
I think Pro Evo
And then,
came along for me at that point, and then was
that's true.
that was like my go-to sports game.
Your sports game, that's it. But no, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 was one big fat shot of nostalgia.
Yeah, as it was.
And it was back then, yeah. So it's gorgeous. It's basically what it says on the tin. It is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, missing a few of the original songs, which...
Did you notice any missing?
Not at all, because it had all the big heavy one. Well, it had Superman by Goldfinger.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the only one I was after, really.
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't notice that there was any, to be fair, but the hardcore fans will fucking have you.
They put some new tracks in as well, didn't they? A couple of
some new tracks that really fit well, actually, to be fair. I like what they done with the characters as well. They made, like, the characters were what the characters look like now.
Yes.
Rather than what the classic look. There was a few new ones.
Yeah.
One being Tony Hawk's actual son, who's a skateboarder in real life. Riley, I believe, is his name. Something.
I was going to say Ethan for some reason. I don't know why.
Ethan.
It's not Ethan.
It
is
that's
Riley.
another actor, isn't it? Riley.
Oh, Ethan Hawke. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's an actor. But
it
was
drugs, drink.
I don't know what he did. He did that. What was that film he did? Training Day? Was he part of that?
He wasn't that.
I think it was.
That was like 15 years ago, though.
Oh, yeah, he ain't done nothing since then. Poor bastard. But he's definitely not coming up in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
You can make him.
You can make him. Yeah, it's a brilliant character. I've got to say, it's one of the best. Well, I'll say the best. Them wrestling ones were fucking brilliant. But
Yeah.
I've got to say, the character creator was brilliant in this game. I managed to create myself, which I normally typically do. Looking damn cool, and you customise character, like your clothing options that you've got. Very skateboarding. You can make him look cool, hipster, give him beards and everything.
You start unlocking like board styles as well, don't you?
Yeah, the board styles, all the classic makes and stuff. The secrets that are still implemented in this game. The characters, like an alien, you could unlock and stuff. All the little secret routes you could do. And yeah, I know it annoyed you that 2-minute time, but it literally is classic.
That is
classic Queen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got to say again, nothing really to fault. I mean, people will moan about the 2-minute thing, but it's there. I did not dabble in any of the multiplayer. I'm not sure if there is multiplayer mode.
I can't remember now.
I don't think there is. Is there? Have I made that up?
Made it up.
Or was there like did they have like a horse mode? Was that one? We had to like do skill.
I remember playing it back in the day, but
yeah,
I don't know if it was...
I can't going back from my memory from having. But if there is, I didn't dabble in it, so we don't need to worry about that. But yeah, I played it on the trusty I think it's a PS4 game, so I played it on the PS5, I believe. Did I write that? Yes, I think it was one of the games. So I played it on there. Unfortunately, no. Although I think there was a 4K patch. No, it runs at 60 as well. I think they may give it a bit of a resolution bump.
Yeah,
but
they patched it.
But I don't think it's a PS5 game. Certainly didn't get PS5 trophies or anything.
No, yeah, it was.
It was the PS4 backwards compatible with a bit of a nice bump. But yeah, it was a gorgeous looking game. It felt exactly smooth and responsive as the old. I'd like to go back to the OG one just to see how memory serves.
Was that running at 60?
Yeah, that's got
PS1 struggling.
Them fucking 2 polygons that they used back then.
Is it PS1 that come out on?
PS1.
Or was it PS2? I can't remember now.
No, I think it was PS1. Yeah, I think it was PS1. I remember the big box.
Honestly, my brain is just
2.
absolutely failed.
Fizzled.
1999 PlayStation,
PS1.
N64, Game Boy Color, Dreamcast, N-Gauge.
I think they did have it on the N64 at one point.
I bet that ran worse.
Oh, probably did, to be fair. Them old polys. But no, everything there's still here, apart from a couple of the songs. The collectibles, I had to do it. I went through both 1 and 2. It's quite relatively short, the memory served. I suppose I mean, I only put about sort of 10, 12 hours into that, and I had one and two done completed. To be honest, like got most challenges on every level, all the collectibles and stuff. So wasn't really much left there to do. But no, yeah, it's hard to fault really. I mean, I haven't got a story or narrative element to have to deal with, which is quite handy.
No, you just sit down and play it. Does
sit
have
down.
online options.
Does have online option. I did think there was. I'm sure a lot of it, like the leaderboard type things, and yeah, that horse does ring a bell. But no, it looks lovely. It's a real modern-esque into it. It was quite fun, the little bits they put into some of the levels. I think one of the classic levels was the school level, and it's this sort of gold out. A closed down school, sorry. Well, in this, they put it down to that there was like a pandemic. I was like, oh, that's quite fun. A big mode that's in there, but again, I will reiterate, I've not used, is the like you could create levels. I know that's a huge community that do that.
Yeah.
I must say, I haven't delved into any of that, unfortunately, but there's some good stuff there to be had. So yeah, Activision are known for doing some terrible things in this kind of thing, but I've got to say,
it's
they've
better than
learnt
Tony
to-
Hawk's Pro Skater 5 or whatever it was a few years ago. Remember that
Yeah.
sack of old dog shit they
That
put
was a
out.
shit.
This
What was that one they made where you actually had a board that you could use as a controller?
Oh, yes.
Ride or something?
Yes,
Tony
it
Hawk's
was.
Ride?
I forgot about that. Oh, my God. That's been bad. But
Deary
yeah, these are
me.
two classic. I was just surprised at how well the gameplay still felt
Yeah.
good to play. Like, it's one of those things that, you think, rose-tinted glasses, I bet that wasn't that good, but they probably tweaked it slightly, but the fundamentals are still there. And I was like, no, this is still fun. And the other thing I thought they'd done what was really clever, particularly in a post Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 world, was to include that revert,
Yes.
so you could string together
yeah.
the vertical tricks with with a manual into a grind. That was
And it just felt so seamless, like you say. Really, that getting that hook right, because there's been a few games like Skate is another one that feels nice, but that game feels so much more like a simulator.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Tony Hawk's definitely has that arcadey, snappy gameplay, and they absolute fucking get this spot on.
If Skate is the Gran Turismo, then this is certainly the Forza Horizon.
This is the Forza Horizon, definitely.
It's good fun. It's still good all these years later. If you've not played them, they're worth having a go. But what are we doing for scores on the doors?
I mean, like I say, it's hard to fault it. It's a big fat nostalgia for me.
Oh,
so
yes.
with that, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Excellent. Probably deserved. They've done absolutely nothing wrong with this. They reintroduced this game. It's been saved. It looks better than ever. It runs better than ever. It plays better than ever. And it's just excellent. I had a great time playing through it as well. And I've been meaning to boot it back up and go through it again. So I'll happily do that. So keeping with the remaster / remake theme, and this is definitely a remaster. But this is a bit of a surprise, if I'm honest, when I see BioShock Infinite coming across my desk. I'm like, hang on, who sent that over? And I was like, it's Adkins, and I was like, all right, where's the other two? 'Cause I know he's played them, but surely if he's playing remasters and definitive editions, he must have played the first two because of that Rodney. And then, lo and behold, BioShock Infinite's been picked out of the free. And finished off again. And it's the remastered version. I'm sure it's the first time you touched it, or?
It's the first time. What happened? Did we get it for free? I believe we did. Yeah, we must have got it for free. I definitely didn't buy it. So I played this. I'll give you a little backstory. So
Buckle up.
Rich backstory. I'm a huge fan of the BioShock franchise trilogy.
Big old Kenneth.
Big old Kenneth played all three on the 360. The day I went into the Master Race world back in... When did the PS4 come out?
2013.
2013. Back in 2013, when I told Sam I won't be buying my wife when I've been told her that
I
I
remember
won't
you
be
showing me
buying.
your PC and saying this as well.
So I will not be buying these next gen consoles. They're not powerful enough. I'm going to get a Master Race, and everything I buy will be Master Race. That lasted about 6 weeks. But the game I got with my PC to enter the world, we came with my graphics cards, was BioShock Infinite. So and I can't remember. I didn't play that to completion on PC, but played about halfway through. But when I played that on the 360, I was in awe of
I'm
that
forgetting
game.
that the original BioShock games were all on 360,
Yeah,
not Xbox One region
No.
and PS3s
X-
they were on.
Xbox
I was thinking,
3.
what's he
So
talking about? He hasn't played BioShock
yeah,
Infinite on the PC as the first one. Of
no,
course, that was the time period. Wow.
that was the time when I played that. So up
What's
until I
happened?
got the Master Race, I hadn't played a BioShock game at 60 FPS.
No, of course
But like
not.
I
Not on
say,
those old slugs.
them old bad boys. So I went through. I played Infinite again on PC halfway through, and obviously games come out. I've already completed it, so it got stuck in the thing. But then, I believe I got the complete edition, or the remastered, which you get 1, 2, and Infinite, the complete. And I'm still, I can't remember. There was something I was watching or something that just reminded me of this game. And
So
in
had you
my
not
head,
finished it?
I had finished it. I
You
finished it on
finished it.
360.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
And then, I tell you what I did on Pete. It was like 3 or 4 years later. I went and done the DLC on PC. That's right. That's what I did with Infinite. The Buried at Sea part 1 and 2. Done that, and then I even tweeted Ken Levine and to tell him I'd completed it, and he liked my tweet.
I remember you telling me that, yes. So quick note. So January 29th, 2020, pre-pandemic.
Ooh.
February's 3 PS Plus games: BioShock the Collection, The Sims 4, and Fire 0 Hour. So that's where you got it from.
There, that's where I've got it from. So it's been sat on that PS4, and I've had countless arguments since then with Biff. Biff says this is an absolute travesty of the game, and I will not have. He hates
Infinite.
it, and I would not have this game dragged through the mud. And it was something like that, or it's something I was watching that had like an olden day seaside vibe about it, and I wanted to get back into this world because all I remember is completing this game on that old 360, and just like I said, being in awe of that. I just remember loving it from start to finish. And as my brain gets older and I've grown as a person and just my views change and stuff, and
He's become more racist.
I've become more racist, and I wanted to add to it with this game. And there is a lot of racial hostility, and it is a very political game. This is, and which, much to Biff's discredit, this is what he doesn't like about this game. That there's too much of that in there, and that's why I think I know BioShock 1 and 2 are what they are. And I love 1 brilliantly. 2 I enjoyed 2, but it didn't do enough new stuff for me to warrant it as thing. Whereas 3 was a complete departure in terms of story and setting for me, that I just wanted to go back through it and see if I loved it as much as I did. And I did. I love this game. It's to be fair, I'm doing it as a remaster. I didn't see a great deal that made me think, "Cool, now this is a real upgrade." I mean, going back, like I say, I played it on that old 360, so it would have been like a 720 or a 1080p fodder.
Yeah.
But there was nicer textures, and it's probably got some sort of resolution boost. But playing it at a lovely 60 on console, I love the setting of this game. Like, it's a very vibrant game, whereas BioShock was, a dingy old rot fest in that underwater setting.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you're up in the sky, you've got these vibrant colours, and you're going around this world. And this game is a real bollard tickler for me. I don't know, I just love the characters of Booker and Elizabeth.
Yes.
Troy the boy voice acting brilliant. I don't know, I just really warm to them. Their chemistry as two characters are brilliant. The story is just, I really think it's a brilliant story. It's confusing at times. It has sort of mixed messages in it, and certainly its conclusion can leave people scratching their heads and stuff. But
It's one of those ones that where, and this is before I really used to take notice about pre-release stuff, so I never really was affected by this. But they showed off a load of gameplay before the game released, and then there were mechanics that didn't exist. And we've even heard this year like talks about Ken Levine's like, nah, shit, put it in the bin and start again. It's taking forever to do things, and it's just, you get these fantastically artful, deep games, but they come with some growing pains, and evidently BioShock Infinite was another one that's a struggle to get out the door. And sometimes I always wonder. Like, I agree with a lot of what you say. I really enjoyed it. I know some people don't enjoy it, but despite the cuts that were made, it's still a great,
still a brilliant
entry.
And I think that seems to be, like I say, I in my opinion, it's very subjective. As a lot of reviews are, but I do think the story and characters are its strongest part. They are flawless in my opinion. A lot of the criticism does come with the combat. I enjoyed the combat. I thought the inclusion of the skyhook was a fun, quite intuitive thing that was quite easy.
It's a grappling hook before a grappling hook was a thing.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. It was roller coasters around the city. It was brilliant. But again, I think I do remember seeing some stuff on some like pre-release footage, and it's like, oh, that didn't make it in.
No, it didn't make it in. No.
But yeah, it doesn't change it. I think that was another thing that people sort of said, that they didn't really change it up too much from the original BioShock. Like there wasn't any dual wielding. I suppose you had your abilities on that. There was some new abilities that you had with the I forget what they called them. Vigors, was it? They were called in this one. They had some new ones. They brought some classics back, but you could mix it up. But for the most part, it was typically the same sort of gameplay, just this new grapple hook, which also lent its exploration as well. I found that you could go off the beaten path and find these new little nooks and crannies. You'd get these locked rooms where you'd have to collect these lock picks and stuff, and I found I spent a lot of time looking for those and sort of trying to get every bit of information I could. There's some light side quests in this game that I found that was a bit of a downside. Like they're not really explained much, and you don't really know if you've completed them or not. There's some I think they're like hidden messages.
Yeah. I vaguely remember these.
Yeah, some rooms in it. It was like the rebellion group that sort of were trying to get you to join their clan or whatever, and because of the time loop, it was convoluted. But yeah, you have to sort of find these rooms and then learn what this code is to work out, and then a section would open and you'll be able to unlock your abilities or whatnot. But yeah, there was some certain mission, like little side questy things, and like I say, there wasn't set. You didn't have like a waypoint of where to go or a completion log of what you'd done. They were just within the world. So it was a bit of a weird mechanic, that one, but I loved the story. Yeah, the levels as well. I forget, it was longer than I thought. I was sort of going through it. It peaks really. I really like that's one thing I may discredit it to, is its sort of pacing.
Yeah.
It sort of goes a bit flat in the middle. It's sort of,
a lot of just like shooting enemies. I remember that, but I enjoyed I remember I got this like a rifle you can get. I don't know if it's quite a sniper rifle, but I really enjoyed just popping things from distance.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges.
Elizabeth to throw in some new some new ammo.
That's
and stuff.
one thing as well that still holds up to this day, is her inclusion as a sort of companion.
Yeah,
she's always there. She doesn't get in the way.
No.
She's not really shooting much and helping stuff, but she's always there, like to replenish your ammo, health if you're starting to get. She's handy to have around, and like I say, as a character, I think they're brilliant. But yeah, just with its pacing, I felt like the sort of introduction into the world, it's all new and mysterious, and it does it. Then, the sort of story unfolds and you're working your way through. There's a bit of a sort of lull in the middle.
The sag.
But I think it sort of crescendos into a nice ending. I did not go through the DLC.
I was going to ask about that because that's Have you played it before, the DLC?
I played that. That's what I played on PC. Yeah, I bought that, and it was a few years after. So I'd like to go back through because I remember that being brilliant.
Yeah, I've not played the DLCs. There's still something.
Have you not? No, it's very good. I can't remember if it's canon or not or what it was, but it was brilliant. Just again another shot of 2000. What was it?
2013.
13, a little shot of nostalgia there. 9 years, core. But no, I love this game. And it will always remain one of my favourite games, I think. And yeah, it was lovely to play it on a console with a bit more power.
Yeah.
Yeah, its world, its setting. I did notice one thing. There was like a barber quartet. What do they call them? Barbershop quartet.
Yeah.
Little thing, and they were singing like a Beach Boys song. Well, that was removed in this game. I assume that's for licensing issues.
Bloody hell.
But there's a few characters that have been moved about. I remember there's like one bridge you cross right at the start, and there was like a policeman with a moustache at the beginning. I even had a screenshot on my Steam, and then it's replaced with a completely different NPC now, and I'm like, oh. So there was obviously a few little tweaks he made here and there, but they don't add anything drastic. It's very much a resolution boost. I think out of the 3 games, this was probably buffed up the least.
Yeah, it came right at the end of like the generation, so it was in that that final year when we had the things like GTA and The Last of Us, like really top tier games that were for that generation. So they always tend to age the best.
They certainly do. Cool. 2 absolute belters from young Troy. But yeah, nothing more to add really.
Cool.
Yeah, I still love this. Biff, you're wrong. It's a fucking brilliant game. Anyone that hasn't played the BioShock Infinite trilogy, do. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Probably ain't gonna see this sort of pedigree from this franchise. Well, I say that. Who knows? It's on the new thing. Ken, what you doing, mate? Get another game out because you obviously are great at making games. Game stories. Sounds like the technical side you might be having problems with, but I'd love to see what he comes up with next if he can get another one out the door.
Pull fingers out of asses, Ken.
Pull fingers out of him, but I love this game.
Excellent.
I'm going to give the remaster a 9.
There we go. BioShock Infinite, the complete edition is its official.
Complete edition. Yeah, it comes with all this DLC I didn't play. There was like I think it was a bit like a horde mode. I think it was called like Cash in the Clouds or something. Yeah. I never did actually play that the original. And then, like I say, the 2 DLC, we'll eventually go back and play through them. And probably go back through 1 and 2 when it's been a few more years and I've got some space. But no, something sucked me into this one. I think it was Biff's anger towards it. I broke the golden rule and then went in at number 3 again.
We played the first 2 back in the day, so
that's it. They're already clicked off.
I think he played through the complete edition, done 1 and 2, and then he got to 3 and binned it halfway through, just to spite you. I think
blasphemy. That is absolute blasphemy.
That's why he's not on every week. Banned. Here we are then. Idle Game Chat's top 100 games that have appeared or been spoken about on Idle Game Chat. This is the big list that everyone's been waiting for. A lot of people just said we'd never get to the episode to start with, let alone put together a list like this. So you can see we've got Adkins here. If you're listening, we've got Adkins here to go through the top 100 games that have been voted on by the Dimp Digital crew. We sent out a survey. Everyone ranked. I think there was 143 games on the list. That's what had been logged, what had been spoken about since episode 1 through to 100. And everyone was tasked with putting through their top 143, did it in ranked order of 143, and then the winners, the top 100, have made it to this episode. I'm going to go through that in order for you guys and reveal what the top game's going to be and take away the coveted award. We've got some bubbly here. I've got some Cante Prosecco, 11%. Extra dry. What's old Adkins got there?
The classic.
We've got the old classics.
The old classics, Prosecco. So extra dry.
Extra dry. Biff hates extra dry drinks, but they're not as bad as what he makes out. So let's get the party started before we start going through the list. Get this fucking bubbly open. Nice and simple there.
Pop.
Crash bang wallop.
We've got the real glass.
Listen to the Atkins has got a wine glass.
That's all I can find.
I hope they can hear the bubbles filtering through the microphone. Probably can't.
Bottle of fizz. Did a Sprite challenge on here.
Anyway, cheers, my friend.
Ding, ding, ding.
To 100 more, maybe. We'll see.
100 more. Oh, be dead before that.
Yeah. Funny enough, last week when we was talking about Starfield and the delays, the thought had flashed into my head that every time a game's delayed, there's like a higher percentage chance that I'll be dead before I get to play it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if a game's come out tomorrow, there's a good chance I can play it, but anything that's delayed further in the future, I'm like, I might not be around.
We might not see Elden Scrolls 6.
Yeah, we might not see that top the 200 list in two years' time. Deary me, right?
Deary
Lovely
me.
drop of brew there. Let's get started. So I said there's 100 games. They were voted on. They were ranked. They all got points. The survey team that I hired. I set up a free trial with them, and they ranked it all and got it all done legit. There's a couple of tiebreakers, a few more than a couple, which I will go through when we get to them, which had the same amount of points. So we had to do a separate kind of just one-off vote with the members of the team. But obviously, thank you to everyone that took part. And special thanks to you, Adkins. You've been on most of these episodes. So to reach 100, we've never done this before. We've always bailed out at around the 70 mark and then reset.
Yeah,
reset
nice,
life. And we haven't done that this time. So here we go.
No.
Number 100.
Oh,
So how do you want me to do it? Should we go through them individually, or do you want me to do blocks of 10? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do the game, and then if we've got something to say, we'll either say something or skip over, and we'll
say next.
we go, next. I don't know whether to mention 101 because it missed up by 1 point.
Oh, go on.
Oh, well, I'll do this. So everyone that's took part in this is a disgrace because this game deserves better, okay? Absolutely. But I'm more disappointed in the people that didn't take part. There's only two, Parky and Hall. They didn't get around to doing it. You are just as much to blame for this game's demise not making the 100 list. Hades. So that's not made the top 100. So just think about that when we get through this first fucking 10 or so at the bottom of the ranks. Apparently all these games are better than Hades, according to Dimp. So thanks a lot, guys. And we kick things off with Untitled Goose Game. GDC winner. DICE winner. One game of the year.
One game I've never played.
No, I think I might have been the only one that played it and chucked it on there.
Fun.
It's good fun, and to be honest, I only played it because it came on Game Pass, and I saw it got the awards, and I was like, oh, I'll jump onto that. And Untitled Goose Game got that's a nice number, 100. If you're not going to finish first, 100's a good one to have on your jersey, on your shirt. Number 99, Gears Tactics.
Oh,
I haven't played this.
No, that's in the pipeline, isn't it?
It's in the pipeline. It's on the list, and I've got nothing but time this year because of the delays. So that's likely to get done. Number 98, and this was separated from number 97. So this was the first sort of tie break that we had.
Ooh.
And look, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how these two ended up next to each other. It's unbelievable that we had all the input, all the different variants that could have happened, all the games, and these two were right next to each other, tied on points, and had to be separated by the tiebreaker. Number 98 is PUBG, and number 97 is Fortnite. What are the chances of that?
Unbelievable. I think I put mine in. I think I put them two next to each other.
Oh, maybe people did that.
Just went right. Them two games.
I definitely did. Maybe I did.
We did, but I definitely put them two together and went, which two do I prefer out of them?
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. I think, yeah. Yeah, I remember the buzz of PUBG, and I got suckered in.
Yeah.
And then
we played, didn't we, a few games together?
Yeah, we did, yeah. We stuck about 10 to 13 hours.
I played on Salmon's account.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah. And there was a couple of weeks where we were playing it, and then, but just going back to how bad it was.
Yeah, it was so janky, wasn't it, compared to like most of the games.
AZ.
Yes, yeah, it had that. Well, it was off. I think it was originally a mod of Armour, which was what DayZ was a mod of. So the DNA was
right.
there. But again, like that was all the rage. Then Fortnite came along and absolutely has gone to the next
Blew it.
stratosphere just for entertainment. And
Yeah.
even on this low list, Fortnite's stolen its lunch money and took 97 off it. So unbelievable.
The amount of hours that Hull put into that game,
Yeah.
and loading as well.
I
all the
played about 5 to 10 hours. That's a real wide scope, but around 5 to 10 hours of it, and we won like one team royale. And I was like,
that's what you could do. Sign out with that.
yeah,
Get one
I took the
solid
victory
win
and was
under
like,
your
I'm
belt.
done. I've completed it, mate. Finished.
Yeah, completely. I quite liked like the events and stuff. I got really suckered into that, and they done like a rock reveal was like one of the characters. But now they just seem to like they have fucking characters in there every day now. It's like cool. It's like fucking Marvel, Star Wars, free
Yeah.
for all. Yeah, it is great.
Kratos is being there dancing.
Yeah, yeah. When you see like Kratos or Ryu from Street Fighter doing the fucking floss, is it?
Yeah. I mean, you have to give like Fortnite respect because it is just
Yeah,
it's
an
just
absolute
so big
power.
and so incredible for exposure, and I'm sure there's tons of people that perhaps didn't play games that now just play Fortnite, which is fine.
Yeah.
Epic are laughing. Number 96, going back to the past for this one, the original Streets of Rage.
Oh, blimey.
I played through the trilogy in preparation for Streets of Rage 4, and that's where that popped up in the episode kind of ranking. And yeah, it's bagged itself a 96, so it's still able to slug it out of the modern games, getting itself in the top 100.
Unbelievable. Number 4 has just been taken off the Game Pass. Would you add them
Oh
anything?
yeah, it has, yeah.
I was like, oh,
Streets of Rage, not my favourite Streets of Rage of all time, if I'm honest, but
No.
maybe there'll be another one later on.
What was the? Is it the first one where you're in like the streets and the police car turns up and shoots something? That's the first
Yeah.
one. That's where the memories. I think 2 may have been my favourite. Maybe
2
but,
was, yeah.
but yeah, the nostalgia's definitely there.
Absolutely. Number 95, Psychonauts 2.
Ooh,
So that's snuck in there.
that's a good one. I've not played that yet. Too.
Worth running through is what I'd position it as. Like, you don't need to go home and get it. Just, you know, if you want to just bash through something in 15 hours, that's a nice one. I mean, you can make it longer 'cause it's a collectathon as well, so you can absolutely go for that. Number 94. Disappoints me that it's even made the top 100, to be honest, but there you go. Trials Rising. I've got serious issues with this game
Yeah.
when it comes to progression, XP, contracts. They fucked up, in my opinion, a really nice formula, so at least it's low on the list.
Was it? Did they ever discuss that at all? That the man, I got people like fucking Pee-wee playing it, absolutely roaring around.
Yeah. No, I never saw them address it. I know that.
No, that's what I was just thinking. In this day and age, when the likes of fucking you get a game like fucking No Man's Sky and the Redemption, I feel like this was a bit of a balls up because. Yeah, I got to a point. I was like, right, I'm just playing the same tracks over again.
Yeah, and there's these really hard contracts that I need to do to get the XP.
Yeah,
it's like, this is not why I signed up for. But it's made it to 94. We can't dispute the list is what it is. 93, Resident Evil 3 remake.
Cool.
So
it's quite low.
That is low, but it was short, wasn't it? That was the
It was very short. Yeah,
and we'd already been so amazed at Resident Evil 2 remake that. This came out this next year, I think. So that wasn't like a big gap.
Year after. Well, was it? It was originally they done back to back, didn't they?
I think they were developing them, close together. What popped out afterwards is that perhaps they were originally supposed to be a double pack, which kind of makes sense. But I remember my clock when I finished this on PC. It was like 6 hours and 37 minutes, and I was like, blimey. Glad I played that on Salmon's Library and didn't stick down.
Oh god, I think I did as well. Actually. They're releasing a remake for that, aren't they? Are they bundling them two together?
I don't know what they're doing with the current gen patches. I don't know.
For releasing 22 alongside 7. Oh,
doing 7 as well. 3. Yeah.
Cool. These versions will include visual enhancements, ray tracing.
Yep.
The PS version will sort haptic feedbacks. Owners of the game on PS4 and Xbox One will be able to upgrade for free, and a free upgrade patch for the Windows version will release simultaneously.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Play it with some ray tracing.
Excellent.
Might get a couple of places up the list. You never know. Number 92, one that's close to your heart and has just recently had a definitive edition release. The Stanley Parable. Low down, in my opinion. That's
that is low down.
I thought me, you, and Paper would get that up the rankings.
Yeah.
I knew some of the other guys hadn't played it or sniffed about it. The fact that when I sent Sam and the what's it called, the fucking Ultimate Paradox version or whatever it's called, and he said never heard of it. I was like, bloody hell! But I thought I know me, Aikins, and Paper have probably played it, and
I'd heard of it and knew it was something to do with the Source engine.
right, yeah.
I hadn't played it, and I remember
need.
It was one of the games on your list. You had it on your Steam, and I was like, right. And I remember you saying, "You just play it. Like, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Just play it." And then it got to Christmas last year, and I was like, right, I want to play something that's really short. And I looked on that website. I was like, that's 2 hours long. Bang. Right. Played it, and it was just like jaw dropper. Like, that's incredible, original.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is out. We've been waiting years for that, and it's got a 91 on the Open Critic, so it's one of the top scoring games of the year so far. So definitely, if you've not played it, that's the version to go. And I'm definitely going to buy that version of it and go back through it. I've had so much distance from it that I've forgotten most of what happens. So
yeah, that's good.
No, they've added stuff as well. Number 91, Watch Dogs 2. Questionable, but.
Questionable, yeah.
No.
That was Marcus, was it? Was his name Marcus?
Yeah, I think it might have been Marcus, San Francisco.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was better than number one. It was better. It was a nice stepping stone.
Yeah, Marcus and like the whole vibe was just a lot more exciting, entertaining. They definitely listened to the feedback of one being a bit dull and drab, and Aiden's just a fucking boring old well, has he got reason to? I can't remember the story he has now, but I know some sort of tragedy that kicks things off, so he's not happy in that one, whereas Marcus is quite happy-go-lucky, like a young hacker, bang bang. But yeah, that's for me, out of the three we've had, we've got Watch Dogs Legion. That's I still think 2 is the best of those three. Yeah, but none of them have ever got to the level I thought they would. I don't know what I'm expecting, but I feel like there is something in there in that franchise that it can.
They're like a bit like Saints Row. It was like there was like the fucking it came out and it was like the GTA killer.
Yeah,
and then it's like right, well it's definitely a GTA killer, and they accepted that and they're like right, we're just gonna go on our own and do a fucking piss take. And that never sort of the further it went on, you're like right, come on mate. Yeah, it sort of had a bit of a feel of that. So who knows? We could get one more.
Could do.
Next gen.
Number 90, Forza Horizon 4.
4.
There you go.
What? That was the British one, wasn't it?
Yeah. All the seasons have changed. That had no end credits.
Yeah. That was a disaster, to be fair. I'm still concerned that 5 might not have.
No, that's on your backlog list of started and not finished, isn't it?
Yep.
And you won't know if you finished.
But did you play 4?
No, I played 3. And then and after I played 3, I was like,
you played them all.
I kind of felt that. I was like, I don't know. I don't need to drive around England. I can do that in my own time.
Yeah.
Well, it's cheaper to do it at home with these fucking petrol prices. Good lord. Number 89, Street Fighter 5.
Cool.
So despite the dozens of versions and content, when this launched, isn't this the launch with like bugger all base? It had no story. It had like
8 characters, and it had it was sort of leaning towards like an online game that was more for like the tournament pros. That's all it had. It had features. There's features missing. It had no story campaign thing at all. It was you could just play through the character's story and it would just be pictures of like a comic book.
Yeah.
Then they later added that in for free. But the fella, I can't forget his name now. The chap that
Ryu.
The creator of Street Fighter, his big thing was, look, this is going to be essentially a live service game. This is going to run for several years. What we're just going to keep adding to it. What we will not do with this game is re-release the game as we're not going to bundle it all together and give it these because we had Street Fighter 4 Ultimate Edition,
Yeah.
fucking Championship Edition. He said day one that he would not do that. Go on, Google it now on Amazon. There must be about 4 different options you can buy. There are about, I think there's 6 seasons of fighter packs now.
God.
I love a Street Fighter game, but this is the one that's turned me off. After seeing that Street Fighter 6 trailer,
Yeah.
I couldn't give a toss anymore.
No.
I am so done with fighting games now.
Put you off the whole genre. And you was
God,
big into it.
I was huge
Loved
into it. Yeah. But I really do look at it and just think, nah, I'm sick of it.
Sick of the way they're doing things. Fair
And
enough.
the next one will come out and I'll buy it.
Oh, yeah. Of course. That's the way it goes. Number 88. BioShock Infinite, the complete edition. So this is the remastered version that you played recently. Well, tail end of last year. And bags itself an 88.
88, low down on the list for me. Fucking phenomenal game.
Yeah,
but,
it's tough, isn't it? Because no one
Did
else.
Biff do this film?
I can only assume. I can't remember what people put now, but I can only assume that you're the one of the sole reasons that's in there because Biff has widely been critical of Infinite in comparison to 1 and 2. I can get on board with liking 1 more than Infinite, but I've 2. Stop being silly, Biff. But yeah, 88. Disappointing for some. King's livid.
Yeah, I'm not happy with that. Phenomenal game. Brilliant. Loved it to bits.
87. Command and Conquer Remastered Collection. Excellent set of games.
That 1, 2...
So what is it? I think it's Command and Conquer, and I think it's Command and Conquer Red
Red
Alert. And that's
Right.
it.
I was that. Oh,
Yeah,
was it
yeah. It's
two
just, no Red Alert
belters,
2.
to be fair.
Yeah, but I fucking love those games.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the gaps I have these days that where I just go back to like third person games mostly is playing like these RTSs.
Yeah.
I spent so much time on them when I was younger, tons of hours, and now I just don't. But that's a great opportunity to do that. I have got the game and I've played several hours of it, so maybe that could be a little project on the old stream. Jump onto that. Number 86. Deacon to be happy. Days Gone.
Oh.
It's made it onto the. It's beating Hades.
Unbelievable. That is remarkable. I loved this game. Like, it's brilliant. I think it's good. I'm ashamed that there's not going to be a second.
Maybe
Another
one
pump at
day.
it.
Maybe one day. Someone will come up with a good idea and they'll be like, okay, let's do it. But
Just re-get that out.
I really have an hankering to go back and replay this on the PS5 with 60 FPS. I mean, by the time I'd played it, most of like the bugs had been ironed out because I played it a bit later than you guys. Or later than Biff did anyway. I think I borrowed it off him. But the 60 FPS, that'll be like fluid. That would really help the game out. So it's on the list. It's on the unfinished business list to go back and I want to seal those hordes off.
Trophy, I think that trophy was pretty attainable as well.
Got the old plat.
The old plat.
Did you platinum it?
No, I didn't know. It's just just clearing the map down basically. It's the hordes and I can't remember if there's collectibles or not, possibly. But it was certainly it's not any missables. You just literally go through, clear the lot down, and
you're
that's
off.
it. Get out, walk out of town. So on the list.
85 Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, Streets of... That was good. I mean, you played through that, didn't we?
Yeah, it was good. I played it through you and Adcock, so I've been through it twice.
Oh, did you? Did you go twice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really it's such a honest, faithful sequel to an old 90s franchise, and was still just as good almost in many ways. I really thought that was an excellent game. So happy to see it at least made it on the list. When you got the likes of Hades being cut, anything can potentially be cut from these lists. So got to take the victories.
Like the music was done. So was it the same people that did that? So it had that nostalgic feel.
It's been, it was just a great recreation and sort of introduction into 2020. I think it would have been when that came out.
It was, yeah,
And it was a
yeah.
Game Pass
Cool.
day one, so we all hopped on.
Wasn't
We all
it?
hopped on it, and now it's gone, like you said. So if you want to play that again, gotta go and buy it.
Get your fucking hand in pocket.
Number 84, Apex Legends.
One game I never played of the Battle Royale.
Yeah,
Tell a lie. We had one game. I don't think you was it. Was it? No, you weren't there. Me, Parky, Hall,
yeah.
and Clarky. We played it at. What was that? Did we go EGX or?
Yeah, you did go EGX once.
Yeah, I think it was EGX. We had one game on PC, and I was goated, so I couldn't even. It was like mouse and keyboard, and I was like, "What is this?" I've never played it at home.
No, I played it for about 5 hours with Parky and Hall. We won one match, and then I was like, okay, bye.
It had and that's the Titanfall game.
Yeah, Respawn. What a fucking studio they've turned out to be for EA. Not only are they making like good to great games with the likes of Titanfall, Titanfall 2, and then Jedi Fallen Order, they've created a live service battle royale game that's going to print money for years. Like, what a fucking absolute steal that company has been for EA. They're literally one of the only things about that company that you can rely on these days.
Yeah.
So keep at it, boys. Number 83. This damages my soul that it's this low down on the list. It really is making me feel a little bit uneasy. Number 83, Death Stranding.
Could you
What are we doing in this group of
long-
fucking people? Bet Salmon put it right at the bottom just to fucking sandbag it.
No, you ain't having that.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. Do you know what? Since being back from Iceland, I've had so much hype to play this again.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just to boot it up.
Yeah.
I think it's a tenner to get that the definitive edition.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. Could you know? Just to think.
Well, it's a fiver.
I know you. Is it a fiver?
It's a fiver. £5 UK.
There you go. Pint of beer in that whacker.
Yeah, exactly. Finest ale.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was different. A lot of people didn't get on with it. We had a great time.
No,
You had
look, a lot of people didn't play it because they thought they wouldn't get on with it. That's what could be wrong. But I think a lot of people that played it were surprised, and I certainly got sucked in. So to see it down at 83 is just a heartache, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come for plenty of other people when we dabble on further down. Number 82, another real sickener for me, Metro Exodus. But at least it made the list.
That does it.
That's all I can say.
One I've not played. I've not gone through that. There's something about that Metro. It's that misery. It's a misery series.
It is.
You've got to be in the mindset for it.
It will drag you down. It's not it's not really something you want to play in the winter. You want to play it in the summer where you can just go outside afterwards and be like, right, life isn't this awful. So number 82 for Metro Exodus. Number 81, Sea of Thieves. So I was hoping that I thought this might be higher because I know that a few of the boys have been playing it on, multiplayer on the PC for a little bit. I've had a good go at it. But yeah, only bagged itself an 81. It's good fun with a group. Obviously solo, not much to offer, but it's certainly come a long way since that came out, and they've done a good job of writing that ship.
There's some hype at the minute, isn't there? See on the Discords, people getting back involved. I wanted to with the old Pirates of the Caribbean update.
Yeah,
it's,
I don't think it's that long. You could jump in and do that.
Cool, get it done.
Number 80. This was split with the game above, so we'll get to what that is. But number 80, Halo 5. I mean, should it be making top hundreds?
How's Hades not? Yeah.
I don't know what these people are doing. I don't know what these people are doing, Adkins. You lose a lot of faith when you see the results of these lists, and you think, who are these people we're talking to? What are they playing at? Fortunately, It got number 80, which is a disgrace because, like we said, poor old Hades, poor old Death Stranding, poor old BioShock. You know, the list goes on. But at least
Lord.
Life is Strange pipped it to 79. That's
79. That's OG Life is Strange.
yes, the very first one.
Yeah.
That's
Classic.
yeah.
I loved that game. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, this definitely it's the type of game that I enjoy, and it was executed well. It came at that time where we had episodic and Telltale was kind of in full force, and this was a nice change of pace. Definitely a good series overall as well. So looking forward
going to this day.
Still going to this day, yes. True Colours, the latest one. 78. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Little indie title trying to make its name on these lists.
Yeah. It's got a lot of digital buzz. We've got fucking breakdowns by the Pixel Pint guys.
Yes. Yeah.
I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a breath of fresh air.
It was.
On the PS2 classic.
Yeah, why not? It was a great little game. Like, done very little wrong. Had much more about it than I was expecting. Looked fantastic. You know, at times was hard. Wasn't gonna let you have it. You had to work for it. And in the end, Ember Labs producing Kena Bridge of Spirits, 78. 77. Now, I can only assume you've done this and made sure this has got on the list. The Order, 1886. It must have got some high ranking points to land itself up here.
Did Loading did play this, didn't he? Or did he?
No, because he saw the werewolves in the underground.
Oh,
the Scrabblers. He's scared.
Bloody hell. Is that still playing my fastest platinum?
Oh yeah, you platinumed it. You platinumed this in one playthrough as well. You didn't have to like, chapter select to go back, did you? You got everything.
Nah. We got 12 hours. Astro's Playroom. 9 weeks, 2 days, 1 year, 9 months. Cool, that was a belter. Hold on. There it is. It's there.
It's there.
The Order. 9 hours.
Okay.
8 hours, 58 minutes.
Just shy of 9. Well,
shy of 9 hours.
It's 77 on Idle Game Chat's top 100.
I always thought that could do with a sequel. It was a glorious looking game. Had some interesting, like, not systems. Like the gameplay was pretty generic. When it was a bit like. Bit of Gears of War, I suppose, the sort of cover shooting, but the story was good. Like the sort of setting of it in that sort of fucking what was it, like a bloody
steampunk?
Yeah, steampunk sort of Victorian London.
It did have a good setting. I think that was there for all to see. Like I said, I think the gameplay and just. You know, to me, it always felt like it should have been a launch game, and perhaps maybe originally it was. And it came maybe like a year and a half after the console release, and by then we'd had a couple of bangers, and it just kind of didn't stack up. Like early PS4 for Sony, and I was a bit like, Christ, where are these first parties going? Because at that time, Xbox had a half decent opening year, and then Sony wheeled that out. But as we know, the tide changed. 76, Half-Life Alyx. So the VR game to end them all makes it onto the list. If you're going to play one VR game, that's the one to play, I'd say. But still, I just find the whole experience annoying to put everything on and getting hot. And it's amazing those first few times VR, but it's just not relaxing. I don't really feel like I'm escaping. I feel like I'm just trapped.
Right, yeah.
Because I've got this fucking headset on, but It's one of the best VR games, certainly, but for me, the platform's the problem there. 75, quality title in Control.
One I'm yet to play.
Adkins.
Right,
you have to play this because of all this Alan Wake that's stirring about.
Yeah.
They're going to do a sequel to it all, and then Control as well. Shared universe.
Yeah, it is a shared, isn't it? It is sat on my
PS5.
PS5, yeah. They've done the
Nice 60 FPS version you get to play.
Oh,
Or you can put on 30 FPS slot for ray tracing if you want.
Yeah, it did look glorious in that ray tracing, so I'll definitely be switching. But yeah, that could be one that gets done this year with the backlog.
Yeah, I would. I think you'll like that. There's actually a lot of lore and reading. That's the only thing, but it's interesting. I found it interesting. The gameplay's really fun as well, so you're laughing. Another one with good to great gameplay. Bombed at the box office, as people would say for a film, but Titanfall 2, excellent campaign. Again, one if you've not played through, that's worth the hours that takes. And then really, the multiplayer was as good as the first one, but it got dropped between Battlefield and Call of Duty. They all came out in the space of a month, and it fell away.
Yeah, was Battlefront knocking about as well?
Probably would have been at that time.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, but the campaign it could possibly be my favourite sort of bolt-on campaign for one of these first-person shooters. Certainly on the EA front.
Superb.
Oh, it was brilliant. It wasn't expected. Like that's everyone was saying that was what was missing from the first game.
Yeah, there was no
campaign, and then we got that, and I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was.
No.
It had a lot of heart and soul, that campaign.
Absolutely. Number 73, personal pick for me. I'm glad at least made it on the list, but Disco Elysium. Fantastic game. Not for everyone, but I think its Final Cut is the latest version that came to consoles. I think they've voice acted nearly everything in it now, because one of my main criticisms was there's a lot of reading in that, but I think they've bumped in voice acting for like most of it. So if ever people were interested, that's the one to play. It's a free upgrade on the PC if you've got the original. That's on the backlog to go back through one day, because that's a game you can play completely differently, and I have a different experience
every time.
Yeah, based on the stats that I put into it. It's just going to change the game. And another game that's similar to this, stat-based, choice-driven RPG, number 72, Outer Worlds.
Ooh.
Obsidian.
I did. This is one I binned halfway through.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Fallout thing. I enjoyed. I played free, steamed through free.
Yeah. You did it in like 12 hours, didn't you? Fallout
12 hours.
Disgrace.
Disgraceful for a Fallout game.
Unforgivable.
I played 4 properly. How you should play it. Played this and was like, okay, well, my biggest
he's dropped his bubbly everywhere.
Dear, live on stream.
An absolute disaster for the boy.
This is the stinker. This is talking about a game. I think my biggest concern for Fallout was the setting. It was the miserable old janky city.
Shit.
So this was like, well, this is still had that jank and that sort of fucking zooming face, but I was like, it's in space. You've got different planets you can go to, and I had a good taste of it, but ultimately I got bored because they're not my. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's something there, but alas, a lot of people like it. You enjoyed it.
Yep, a good little series. I'm looking forward to the second one for sure. And Obsidian,
Do you need a DLC?
No, I do want to play it, but again, it's that weird thing I've got in my head where if Phil wants me to pay for stuff on Xbox, I won't unless it's on Game Pass, and the DLC's not. So I feel like I should own the game and the DLC just in case I bin off Game Pass one day. Otherwise, I'm gonna be left with DLC that I can't play. So I don't know. I do want to play it because I heard good things. So maybe a full replay with the DLC online. It's not expensive either. I'm just out of principle, just digging my feet in. But there's so much to play that I could go back to play. That, it's not the end of the world. Number 71, Fall Guys.
Ooh.
The Battle Royale show multiplayer game. We played. Did you play on the stream or did you play on the PC at all?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I didn't play on PC. No, I
played on the because it was on the PlayStation Plus when it first came out.
That's right. Yeah, I played a little bit of this. I think I did play with you guys for one stream.
Yeah,
and it was enjoyable. I quite like it. It's still one of those ones you can just pick up now and just play. I haven't played it for a long while, but it was a nice breath of fresh air for the Battle Royale thing. It was different. Done things different.
It's good fun. It's goofy. It's annoying sometimes, but it's fun. And they eventually added the team mode where you could play through like with 2 or 3 people or 4, and then you win as a team. That's kind of what was missing at launch. And I've played that with Hall, Lapper, and Paper, and that's a good multiplayer game to jump on because it's a little bit less intense than say a shooter battle royale. And it's obviously fun watching the likes of Paper just struggling with the basics of platforming. So it's an excellent game. If you've not had time to play that with a group, I absolutely recommend that. It's really good. Number 70, Hitman 3. So, funny enough, I'm replaying Hitman 1 through 3 at the moment. So,
oh really?
Yeah, it's. I think Hitman 2 is the highlight of the trilogy, but Hitman 3 is still good in its own right. That as a trilogy, though, like you can buy like the trilogy as a pack now. That's a really strong package. Like it's so good for these games. There's not really too many games like Hitman. The way they're doing it now. So
ultimate sandbox.
Yeah, they're good fun to mess around in. The mission stories are good because they're interesting. They're funny. It's fun to work out and catch people out and assassinate them with accidents, quote unquote. Hitman 3's just got a good support around it with new contracts to do and whatnot, and they're adding that freelancer mode. It's been delayed till the summer, but that's something that I'm really interested in doing, where you pick like a campaign, you do like 4 missions back to back, and then you build up like a home base of weapons and items. It's almost like a career, obviously, of a hitman, using the environments they've created. So I'm really looking forward to that. And IO split from Square Enix, who we criticised a few weeks ago, rightly so. That's another one they let go because it weren't up to snuff. And those guys have got the fucking Bond license to do a game, so. Really looking forward to see what they do next. But Hitman 3, glad it made the list because I knew it wasn't a popular choice amongst the Dimp crew. 69, we're into the 60s. Adkins' favourite number. And one of your I don't know, maybe it wasn't one of your favourite games, but Monster Hunter World Iceborne. 100 hours flushed on a 69 rated game according to this list.
That is unbelievable. Yeah, that was remarkable.
That was a fun few months playing that.
That was a fun few months. It's a grind. It's not a Biff game. We reiterate, it's not a Biff game. I mean, it's just one of those. It's got elements of fucking Elden Ring on there, where you're not there for the story, you're there for the grind.
Yeah,
the longevity of it.
It does have some, not in the structure, but just. The way it plays is a little bit like a Souls game where you have to be you really have to know what the enemies are going to do, learn the patterns, and be very selective about when you attack, when you defend, when you use items, because everything's so animation heavy that to wet your blade and like sharpen it, you can't do that in the middle of a fight. Like you need to find room and space. Like it's very deliberate in that sense, and it teaches you good discipline. And
it does. And there's no hand holding.
No, there's not. Them bloody YouTube channels that we used to watch for gear builds, and they were vital.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why it's a bit lower, because it doesn't have the hand holding. People didn't like it. 68, Final Fantasy 15, the flying car.
The flying caca.
What do you make of that? High or low? We're probably the only two that played it.
Well, I was going to say,
I don't think Salmon did. I feel like
never see it through. I know.
I don't know if he sees things through these days. He talks a good game, doesn't he? But he don't finish things off.
He don't touch
Maybe
it.
so. Being like the second.
I enjoyed it. It was good fun. It was different to the. It was sort of the one that got me back into Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Sort of seeing that open world and that free. I'm not a huge fan of the turn-based malarkey, so that coming back in, it was a nice little. It was sort of like the stepping stone to 7. 7, I think, is a better game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I certainly had a good time with 15, and it was quite fun when they released it. And they released all that. They had like the film, didn't they? There was like a little anime series.
Kingsglaive. The anime series was good. I actually watched that. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it sort of just built out the characters, each of them.
Yeah, it had a nice framework for a story as well. Final Fantasy 15. I think it got a bit when it went more linear. It kind of started to fall apart for me as a game to play, and then the story did get messy. But the overall ideas behind it were good. And considering how, I mean, that had some real development hell. The fact that it even came out at all, that in a respectable state, it was nothing short of an amazement. So, yeah, that was the first Final Fantasy game I played through to finish. I hadn't got involved since probably the early PlayStation days. Like, back then, you just sort of I wouldn't finish things because I couldn't.
Too hard.
Too long and too hard. So it was that sort of gave me the platform to go on to 7 Remake and be really excited for 16, which we'll hopefully hear about at some point. 67, one of the great soundtracks in gaming. Hotline Miami.
Oh, an absolute belter of a
Get
game.
me that acid and get me playing that again. Well, I don't know, actually. I think after a while you'll be like, fucking hell.
Oh.
They're in the house trying to come after me.
That was fucking brilliant. That was awesome. That is an absolute controller breaker as well.
Yeah, oh, mate, it's hard.
It is fucking
Did you play the second one?
No, I've got that installed.
That's meant to be really hard.
Is that even worse, is it?
Yeah, it's meant to be even harder, even longer, and people criticised it for that.
Oh.
So, look out, Ted.
Yeah, look out. But I definitely want to, because they are brilliant games. Devolver, Totty.
Excellent game for sure. Number 66, Metro 2033.
Oh.
I mean, I certainly didn't put that higher than Exodus. So I don't know how that's happened. Someone's fucking about on their list somewhere. But that's the original.
I may have put that a bit high. Or no, I would have put that higher because I hadn't
played it.
So I did play. I think I got about halfway through, and my intention is still to finish that. The brain won't let me play Exodus until I get this one. Last Light.
It's worth playing the first two. For that, I would say there's a lot of characters that appear and carry over. So,
what did you say? Lettuce? No, cabbage.
Cabbage. Yes, cabbage.
Etium. But yeah, I got that Redux. That's the real.
Yeah,
that's the one.
That's the one to have. 65.
Cool.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Hades.
On my list.
Stinker. Probably is a good game now. I've got to say, there's not been really much buzz about it.
No, it came out in that fucking February to March window, and everything was just. It was Dying Light, then it was Sifu, then it was Pokemon Arceus, then it was Horizon, then it was Elden Ring, and then it's been nothing else since Elden. Like, it just came out at the wrong time. I don't know, maybe they did it intentionally because they were like, look, let's just get this out of here and then we can move on with our lives.
Yeah. I anticipated it would be a sort of redemption story for them. But
I'm going back to it. I'm going to start it this year because, again, we talk about the no excuses. There's no excuse not to jump into that now.
There is something there. It's a good game. It's core, but it's a fucking disgrace of a game at the same time in terms of a technicality.
Technical behaviour of the game's not good enough.
I think it's just one of those games that was so hyped that it just didn't live up to the hype. And obviously, when you bring a game out that pure, you're going to get snarled up. But definitely worth a play.
64, Guardians of the Galaxy.
The real dark horse.
Yeah, I'd have that higher personally, but
got to give this to Biff at some point. He keeps harping on about it.
Well, he's playing Watch Dogs now, so.
Is he? Is he back to Legion?
Watch Dogs Legion. He can bin that, can't he? Then he can,
Then
he can come ask him for it. But
wasn't it?
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was good, excellent. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
overachieved because I thought it was going to be awful.
Thought it was, and it's hard for when you've got a story, especially these Marvel stories.
Yeah,
when you've got the MCU characters in your head and they bring out a new version of it, you're like, right, well, I ain't getting that fucking Chris Pratt out of my head.
No,
and they managed to, it's not replaced the MCU version.
It's exceeded it.
It's exceeded it. Yes. No, it's very good, unexpected.
Yeah.
I would like to see some more, please.
Number 62, Demon Souls remake.
I am so scared to go back to this.
Mate, you've done Elden Ring now. You've nothing to. You've done Sekiro and Elden Ring. There's no reason to be scared of this.
And this was my original thing was I weren't allowed to play Elden Ring until I completed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, that didn't happen. And now I feel like I've spoiled myself because of the luxuries that you get in Elden Ring.
True, but here's the counter I'd say to that about Elden Ring, about Demon Souls. This game looks phenomenal, runs like butter. It'll feel like a newer game than Elden Ring almost. Yeah. Now, it won't be structured the same, you're right. You're going to have to deal with the very first go at this, which was probably the most flawed in hindsight.
Yeah.
But it looks like a proper current gen game and runs like one, so maybe that will carry it through. That's kind of my plan now, is to do Elden Ring, go back, give it some time. Like, I'm not going to completely self-harm myself and do Demon Souls straight after, but then go to Demon Souls at some point and play it, because it'll feel fresher, or maybe won't be as attached to the openness of Elden Ring, and experience what is still, what we need 18 months into the generation, still one of the best looking games on the platforms that are available.
Yeah.
And then once again we're going to 61, another fantastic looking game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Sony doubling up.
Technical marvel.
Yep. But has it got much substance? That's what people are asking.
That's what they're asking. Absolute technical beast. Fucking Insomniac are the daddies.
They are the fucking wizards, aren't they?
Yeah,
they really are.
Giving us options for their fucking console ports. Brilliant.
It's better than the PC options.
Give me that AA feature.
Give me that FOV.
That was brilliant. But very fun story. It's good to play. It's like playing a fucking Pixar film, and a great sort of tech demo of how these SSDs work.
Yeah,
it done well.
Well, even Demon Souls at 62 was a little bit of a hint of that, because it was almost instant respawn. Yeah, if you go back to playing Bloodborne when you died on that, minute and a half.
Minute and a half just to claw your way back.
Yeah, that's the thing with those games. How frustrating is it when you die? It makes the journey so much less of a frustration if you can get back into the game quickly. Part of the sickening feeling of Bloodborne was sitting there watching those loading screens for felt like forever.
Yeah,
but Rift Apart again, a good tech kind of demo of what's available and what's coming, and a solid game, beautiful piece of art in the way it looks and the way it runs, and then Insomniac have given some great post support on the technical front, which they have not expected. So it's nice to see that. Number 60. This is where the OG one beats out the sequel from earlier, the original Titanfall. And I know the likes of Logan would have ranked that highly, because that was perhaps one of the top Xbox One games in the end, because it wasn't exclusive on Xbox. That ended up being for the whole generation. It was multiplayer only, but that's one of the reasons why a few of them bought the Xbox, was because Titanfall looked so good, and you could either get it on PC or be done with it. So that's made it in.
Yeah, it was an absolute fucking. I remember playing it at EGX. I was just going to see if I could, whilst we're talking about it, I don't think we will, but see if I could bring up Chris Loden's numbers on it.
Oh, what on?
How many hours he put into it.
On Titanfall?
On the actual Xbox app. But yeah, in Titanfall, it was a great game, but yeah, it definitely did lack that campaign.
Yeah,
and after they released to a belter, you sort of think, well,
didn't have the legs though. People are saying
it's not playing ball. No. He played a lot of hours.
He played a lot of hours. That's all you need to know. 59. Celeste. Frustrating, that game, but it's good.
Yes, got that fucking mental health in it.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does have that element to it. And that all.
I did play it. That's another Game Pass baddie. That was it. It was on Gold.
It's on Games with Gold. Yeah, that's how I played it. I didn't. Yeah, I played it on the PC. I streamed it. That was a bad idea. I started doing a project to do a compilation of all my deaths in the game. There's fucking hundreds. I think I've done like 2 or 3 chapters. They had
That
to
was a
drop
real
it.
stinker. What was that other fucking one on the Switch? The platformer that was fucking hard. Took you about 15, 20 hours. Oh, Shovel Knight. Cool.
Yeah. That was another
That was
tricky
another
one.
stink.
58, Inside.
Oh,
Cool. Not even made the
that
top
is-
50.
Yeah, that is a stinker because that is a phenomenal game.
Yep.
I love that game. That was brilliant. Short, sweet, exciting, shocking.
Shocking.
Shocking is what I'd say about that game.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yep. Good game, for sure. 57, A Way Out.
Ooh.
Faris getting involved here.
Another one I never played. This was the top of my not played list.
Was it?
So this is where it could be quite high, yeah.
Co-op
'Cause I was doing
only,
that.
costing you.
Yeah, it really was. And then Yellow Boots stung me and played it with his girlfriend who don't play.
What?
And then got pissed off with her because
She
it was
can't
how
play
the
it.
end. No, because of how the game ends.
Oh,
He told
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And he literally had a barney with her and then went to bed. Left
Oh,
her there
yeah.
with a controller in her hand.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, after playing, I've still not finished it actually. And me and Albert were playing. He got scared and started crying, so we had to
What,
put
when
it
it
on
takes
hold.
two?
Takes two, and we got to the bit with the fucking fish. You know the underwater thing with the fucking fish that comes to get you.
Oh, didn't like that.
Right, he didn't like it. It scared him, and now he won't finish it. But playing that, I was like, I want to go back to A Way Out because things. But
Oh, how
yeah,
funny.
that's all been put on hold.
Oh, well. Maybe. I mean, I'll play it again, but I
Yeah,
think
get that polished off.
polish it off. 56, Super Mario 3D All Stars. Now, really, this should be number one because of the quality of games that are in there, but Nintendo did such a slapdash job of the whatever remastering they apparently did that people were like, why have you just done zero effort with these three excellent games?
Galaxy was the one that got the most love, and that was just seemed to be essentially a bit of a fucking resolution boost.
Yeah, remove the
But-
motion controls, the waggler, and then
Yeah. But yeah, that's one. I own it. I've opened it. I've not played it.
No.
Albert's had a little play and a tickle, but
not
he
interested.
did it like a bad habit. Yeah, like you say, that's technically that should be higher, but
Well, they've blown it themselves, Nintendo. Here's one that you have played and finished, very similar. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury at 55.
oh, pips to the post. Yeah, I did. A surprising game. I wasn't expecting as much after Odyssey. Like, cool. Could we get that? It was like an Odyssey light.
Yeah.
In terms of its 3D world. But yeah, very good. Very good. It's a nice little switch if you're in this type of year and you just want a little platformer to get you through the day. Nice little palate cleanser, I'd call it.
Yep, agreed. I'm looking forward to cleansing the palate with that one day. 54, Street Fighter 4. So is this the last one they did that wasn't a complete shit show at launch, or?
This one wasn't too bad at launch. It did have the different versions, and
Right.
this was before the days of fighter packs. You had
Of course. Yeah.
like DLC, like you just had the versions. I think they just re-released. You had like the ultra version, and then that would come with things. But I think this was just as the fighter packs were coming in.
Yeah.
But you had like a decent story, and yeah, this was 360. This was, I think. But yeah, that was a very good game. Very good. And yeah, the last one.
Adcock pumping its numbers there for sure.
Yeah.
That's what's happened there. 53, another Adkins tickler. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh,
You and Sam are loving the
glorious.
Nintendos.
Yeah, we do. This is quite possibly one of the best looking games on that Switch.
It's a low bar, but yeah, still got to give it respect where it's earned it.
It is, and yeah, another nice palette cleanser. Bit different to most platforming games. Not really platforming; it's more puzzle solving, really. But the vacuum thing, it takes a little while to get used to, but
Yeah.
once you do get the knack,
Love
you
him.
can do some fun on there. But yeah, worth a play, I'd say, if you're a Switch owner.
It's on the list. 52, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, the hardest Soulsborns that ever lived, I reckon.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that.
No,
Doesn't crack the top 50, but
no, it doesn't. Plus Biff saying he doesn't like the Japanese story that he saw it through. I want to play through it again, to be honest.
right.
I want to now. I've dealt with the Eldons. I'd like to go back through it because I think there was a few bits that I missed as well. Like there was a lot of optional stuff in there that you could go off and do, and I missed it.
Yeah.
So I'd like a second run through of that. But yeah, a great game and a great change of. You had the Dark Souls and the Bloodborne, and then this was like completely
Different
take. Yeah, even though it was the same DNA.
Yeah.
But weren't all about fucking monsters. Is well it was, but
Wow.
a Japanese
ninja monsters,
and it wasn't. You couldn't grind.
couldn't level up. No. Just get those
one done.
trick arms or whatever they're called, and
That was it.
deal with that. That's the one that scares Adcock off, and he's played
Oh, is it?
all of them other than
And he
2, I
fucking
think.
played one of them on a fucking Switch.
Yeah, he played Dark Souls remastered on a Switch, so that's what you're getting out of him. And yet he won't do Sekiro because he feels like it doesn't have the leveling, it doesn't have the. I don't think he used the summoning, but obviously it plays a lot differently just in terms of how you progress in the game and its structure. So no grinding just to get better stats to brute force through. You just have to learn the game. Scared him off. Number 51. This was tie break with the game above, so keep that in mind. No Man's Sky. The redemption story drags it up to the. Well, I didn't make top 50, but it scrapes itself close. Sean Murray counting his money, giving away these free expansions after he became a multi-millionaire overnight, and
Off into the night.
yeah. What do you make of that? Have you played any of it since the launch?
I booted it up on PS5, I think, because I bought it on PS4 and played a little bit of View and Paper, and we were going to
Oh yeah,
start a little adventure and find a planet, and we played once or twice. And then
we found the
chucked it.
planet and then never went to it. It was looking like a nice Earth planet, wasn't it? Like water and like lush green. There was no toxic weather or we wanted a nice home planet.
Found it, fucking staked the claim, and then just wrote it off. And I think when the PS5 came out, so 2020 November, I think I booted it up because I was like, right, well I can claim that as a PS5 game.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this baby. Booted it up and played for it for about an hour. I was like, yep, I'll play that again. I never did.
No.
But no, I'd like to. I wish it'd be good for someone who didn't get rolled into the height and just to go, yep, let's do it. Let's play now. And do it. But
That's what happens.
I reckon Paper would probably put that out. That's how it's getting up there.
Yeah. Biff would have put it at the
Like you
bottom
say.
out of spite, I think.
But yeah,
Trying to sandbag
like
it.
you said, the real redemption story.
Yeah, they've done a good job with it in terms of the content, so you can't. Got to tip your cap to them for that at the very least. Number 50, lovely little game. This. What Remains of Edith Finch?
Oh,
So
this was
Walking Sim 101.
Walking Sim 101. This was another one. This is a bit of a what did I say earlier? Stanley Parables about it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I heard it had been reviewed well, so I was expecting it to be good, but didn't know what I was getting in myself for. And I think that's the best way you can play that game, is just not to look about what it's about or what it is. Just play it. It's short and sweet.
Yeah.
It's a fun, different ride. Very good.
No, agreed. 49. I'm shocked this is so low. I can't remember now. I think it won our Game of the Year for 2021. Metroid Dread. Been absolutely harpooned at the 49s.
The 49. It just makes the top 50.
Oh, no. That's disgraceful.
And there was a bit of news that it's now the most selling game of the franchise.
Best-selling Metroid game there. So glass up for those boys and girls over at Mercury Steam. Done the business.
Done the business. But yeah, I love this game. This was our game of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think it's my personal one, but collectively it's what won.
Yeah.
And I have no problems with that. Last year was a bit of a.
What would you have given it to? It Takes Two.
I think so, but
Yeah.
I wasn't. It wasn't like one of those years where I was like, "No, it can't be Metroid." I was like, "No, it could be Metroid." Like I wake up some days and think it would be. Definitely when I first finished it, I was like, "That's up there."
Yeah.
That didn't happen that often at all during that year. It didn't happen with It Takes Two either, because I just expected that something better would come along.
Yeah.
But then as the year kept coming on, going on, I was like, nothing's getting close to this. I was like, what's going on here? And
no, it was strange, but no, phenomenal game. I want to play through that again.
Yeah.
Hard in places.
Yeah.
Not so in others, but no, short and sweet again. I think it's only a 10-hour blaster, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice
15,
and
beautiful.
Nice and quick-ish. Number 48, Resident Evil Village.
Oh,
so the popular vote winning through there.
Very good, yeah. That was another good one. After the fucking shit shower, well, not shit shower, the scariness of 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going into it, there was bits in this that did shit me up, but I don't know why. It's something. It was more manageable than 7 because 7 was just harrowing.
Yeah, 7 was just difficult.
It was, but this the style of it as well. You had the different. Was it the 4 areas? Was it the 4 bosses that you had to control?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a different change pace. It wasn't as I expected, to be honest. Like I think we mentioned that in our preview or review of it, that we was expecting certainly the vampire lady to have much more of a claim in it and have a personal. It was sort of short-lived, but overall, I liked it. It's good. Be interesting to see what they do with the franchise. We've got a Netflix series coming, so that fucking Resident Evil IP is
hotting up again, isn't it? We had a film out last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I still ain't seen that yet.
I haven't either. I will watch it, but I'm not expecting good things, that's for sure. But that lands on a 48. 47, Mafia Definitive Edition. This was beaten out by the game above in a tie break. I played that. I love the original Mafia game. Loved 2. Didn't like 3 so much. Thought it was okay. Good story, but just became open world bloat, which the first 2 hadn't been. This is a remake of that original game, following the same sort of story beats, and it's a great modern version of that title. Pretty short, can run through it nice and quickly. In fact, I think it's the only game I've played on PlayStation Now since I've had the membership. In the last few years. I remember I tried PlayStation Now to stream a couple of games years and years ago. But I bought the year's membership out of just curiosity to see if anything would be on there, and this was the only thing I've played so far. So I have to wait till Jim fucking drops the beast next month and says, right, new start for PlayStation Plus Extra.
And they've
premium.
just announced a prequel, aren't they? Going to be some new Mafia game.
Well, apparently there's going to be a 4th one that's going to be a prequel. So I don't know how Mafia and that genre, not that genre, but that theme hasn't got more games in it. It seems ripe for video game storytelling. I know we had the Godfather games years ago, those open world attempts. But really, if you think about how many Mafia games there are, not just called Mafia, but things that are based in Goodfellas or like an Italian organised crime, there's not really a great deal. So
big deal. No.
Right for pickings. 46, multiplayer only took making its way in. So it was took, but this definitely captured people's imagination and it was very popular. Overwatch.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stung him with that.
Stung in it.
The best thing we can say about this is we don't particularly like multiplayer games that much, but we did play a fair bit of this. So
we did play a fair about this. The fucking gold, steal or lose. Tough to take, that was. But yeah, we did get suckered in, and it was good fun, to be fair. It's one of the games, other than the Destiny, that we did all have a good laugh with that, even though it was ended in tears.
Yeah.
Much like Destiny, but no, it's good fun. It is good fun, and if you're into that sort of game, Hall loved it, and he still think, but I just don't get what they're doing with this sequel. No. It's not needed. Stop it.
Pack it in. Just leave it Overwatch and just add to it.
Yeah.
Easy. Number 45, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Next on the fucking backlog merchant.
Yeah, that's it's definitely got issues. Presentation and performance is just awful. I know I just don't. I understand how you can play that game and think, yeah, this Switch is really doing these games a favours. It's like, why people can't just admit that if these games looked and ran better, they would be better games. Like
Get that salmon on here to
but he won't. He'll say it's different audience. They don't need it. It's like they don't need it. Of course they don't need it. It's miraculous that they play and feel like good games as they are, but they could be better.
Yeah.
And this is a big case of that. But to be fair to Arceus, it done what I, did I ever think I was going to buy a PlayStation game this century? No. But they finally kind of went down the direction that I wanted in terms of like not quite open world, but open areas with a hub, but sort of free flowing between combat and exploration, and being able to catch Pokemon in real time, sneak up on them, interact with them. Felt a bit more. That's kind of like what I've been looking for. So they've hit that note. Just fucking pull your fingers out, Game Freak, and put some effort into the textures at least.
Yeah.
44. The ultimate shit me up. Resident Evil 7.
Oh.
So, one of the strongest openings ever in a video game for me. Like the opening couple of hours of that is just... It's horrific, like you said, but it's powerful. And not say saved Resident Evil, but brought it back from the brink of... From like after 6. 6 sold... It was the best-selling one in the franchise, but you can't get away from the fact that the fans and the critical reception for 6 was awful. 7 completely rejuvenated that franchise, so pulled it out the fire.
That was an absolute fucking change of pace, change of fear, and it brought the horror back. We've said everything there is to say about that game, but was very good, was very scary.
43, Cuphead. I've been sufficiently scared off of Cuphead for its difficulty. So
I almost bought this on the Switch because I remember watching like a Digital Boundary video.
There's another one Adcock's done on the Switch of the awful portable mode. I mean, hats off to him.
But that's one that I think Digital Foundry said there is no difference on a 4K screen to the.
Oh, really? It's just
because of the art style and that there is nothing. But it's one I wanted to play, but again scared off because you just know it's going to be a fucking controller breaker.
Yeah. Or switch breaker, you snap the whole thing in half. Poor old OLED.
Put that to the test.
Yeah. See how much it bends. 42. Streets of Rage 2.
Cool.
So that's in my opinion, the best of the 4 so far.
Yeah.
Such a classic, great game. Available on various different collections. You got Axel, Max.
Was this did it have Blaze in it? Was he in one as well?
I can't remember his name now. I have to look him up now, and I
was going to say, it's only a couple of years ago we played through this on that 360 collection. I was like, cool, there we go.
Blaze is the female.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So you are after the big wrestler?
Is it Max that he was the black character?
Yeah, he's the big. Or do you mean the skater fella?
The skater one, yeah.
Yeah, his name is. Oh God. What is it? Eddie, I think.
Eddie?
I might just call him Skate.
Oh,
but
might have done.
But I think he's the son of. He's the son of one of the characters from the first one. Right. The other hunter, I think.
Yeah.
Or brother, maybe.
The brother.
Yeah, sorry. Right, here we go. He's the younger brother. He's the younger brother of Adam Hunter.
Adam.
That's it. So Adam was in the original, and I think he's in 4 as well. But yeah, two's the in my opinion the best. Like it's obviously an old retro game at this point, but you can still pick up that today on a collection and play it, and it will play just as good as 4 does and be enjoyable. So no bad words to say about that. 41. This was a tiebreaker with the game that's coming next. Gears of War 4.
Oh.
So this is a real stinker for me. To be that high on a list is quite devastating because that was the worst of the, I not the worst, but
out of 5. Well, I never played Judgment, but
if I'm going to choose one of them, Gears 5 is going to be the one that's going to be above. 4. JD Phoenix, and don't even get to play as Kate then, do we? Who sort of becomes the main protagonist in 5. Sort of stories focused around there, but it was kind of like a soft reset, but wasn't a bollard grabber for me. Number 40, I can only assume it's got in here because it must accumulate the most hours played of any of the games, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, yeah, that is I like the game. After watching that
Vikings.
Viking last night, Northman. I do advise you to watch it. It's
I
very
will.
good. But yes, it got me into that fucking Viking vibe. And I was like, cool, I could go back axe wielding again. Get me on there. There's been shitloads of DLC.
Yeah.
There's a season pass,
Yeah.
big one.
But it is a time sink.
Good. It is a time sink. Yeah, it was a utter bloatville, but a bloatville that was quite enjoyable. I liked it. It was again a revitalising of the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Glad we ain't going to see another one for. Well, we got Infinite coming, haven't we, or whatever it's called.
We'll see what's happening with that. Not to be trusted. 39, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, or Gears of War Ultimate, I think it is. So that's the remaster of the original. Yeah, I mean that's a fantastic game in its time, and the remaster is a good modernised version of it. I think I've played through that with Biff not too long ago. So,
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah, I love that game. That should be higher, really, for how good that game is.
I think it's difficult sometimes. Well, I don't actually. Well, I'll say that there's remakes galore, perhaps lurking later, but remasters maybe they're getting frowned upon by the Dimp clan. Not interested in it. 38, Forza Horizon 3.
Cool, the Aussie version.
So that was the one that felt like the breakthrough to me out of the games. Like 2 was starting to gain pace, but when 3 came out, people were like, "Oh, this is really good." Yeah. And then 4 was like, "Oh, yeah, this is still really good." So that's obviously the one that I would have had higher on my list. So others may would have followed suit there, but that's when I felt like it broke out.
Yeah, definitely. That was when it was. Yeah,
people were like, this is a good video game, not just a driving game. Like the way they've structured the progression and all the other bits.
It's just like a festival thing. I mean, they carried the festival thing through 5, but certainly they didn't have the sort of sandboxy stuff of it, the stuff you could go off and do. And
speed traps and all this stuff, and there's stuff to do on your way to each location. And they had those special events where you'd like race a blimp or something, which were always
that's right,
fun. Yeah, and it was set in Australia. I think it's a good setting.
Yeah, it was a very
better than the UK, unsurprisingly.
We had Aussie. What was it? It was, I think one was like South America. No, not South America.
So we've got Mexico at 5.
Mexico at 5.
England at 4.
England at 4.
Aussie at 3.
3 was Aussie. 2 was like Italy and France. I think like Mediterranean type thing. And then 1 was like a sort of deep South America type thing.
All delisted now, those games, so you can't play them. You can only play 4 and 5 if you haven't got them already.
I assume that because of the music rights licenses, because they had like radio stations on there with licensed songs.
Yeah,
so off you go.
That seems so short-sighted just agree to that, but whatever. Different conversation. 37, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
That's a great game. That's a brave Marshall. I love that game. And it seems like they're making it Star Wars canon. Well, I think they already have. They're starting to introduce it into the actual TV series and stuff.
Cool.
So
playing with fire, aren't they?
Could they see one character turn up, young Cal Kestis? But just another one. I mean, I got hyped with this as soon as we saw it, and I thought, cool.
Surely he has to die, though. Because surely all the Jedis were, like, wiped out, other than that little green thing, Yoda. That green goblin. Yeah, what is he?
Older 66.
Mogwai.
It did happen. But it could do. But they got so much they can do.
Oh, yeah. You've got plenty of games. Carry on. I heard the new one's going to be called Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Oh, really?
On the Run.
On the Run.
See. But no, Fallen Order is excellent, yeah. Took a weird, not weird, but it felt strange that it took Souls-like elements in that you go to these campsites or whatever they were. I can't remember what they were called now, but that heals you, but then resets all the enemies.
That's it. Yeah,
I was like, it's interesting they chose that thing to sort of carry over.
Bit of like a Metroidvania as well, wasn't it? Yes. You had to
the map was a real pain in the
Stinker.
arse. But I think I collected a lot. I've done like a lot of the collectibles and visited all the new areas I can unlock. I was being able to fly around the ship and go back to planets and see new areas. Just has that. That's a nice little loop that I enjoy throughout games, particularly if it's obvious of where to go back to. So yeah, it's, again, Respawn. They go from first-person shooters and do something on their first go. Do that. I'm like, well, the sequel could be special. Let's see. 36. Mass Effect 2.
Oh,
That's the best of the trilogy, so at least that's correct and in there.
Yeah. One game that did get a shout out.
Yeah. Now, I'm, again, unfinished business. I want to go back and do a full Renegade playthrough on the Legendary Collection, which will include Mass Effect 2, but for me, that game was just, at its time, it's really exciting back in that 360 and PS3. There were some really good, excellent games that we got new franchises like BioShock and Mass Effect, and with the Gears franchise, Uncharted, Last of It. Like, there's a lot of groundwork done just in that generation that was
like 360 exclusives at one
it was.
point.
Yeah, so the original was, and then I believe PlayStation did get 2 eventually, and they definitely got 3. But yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I was so happy to have a 360 was because of Mass Effect. Like, I was like, these games are incredible, and 2 was like the pinnacle of that trilogy. So
that was the king of RPGs before Witcher came along.
yeah, absolutely. 35. Halo: The Master Chief Collection. I mean, an excellent package of games other than Halo 4.
You've got that rot in my fucking hard drive. It's about 130 gig or something.
It probably updates every week and adds like an extra 4 gig.
It was like an update the other day. I had to 30 gig, I think it was. I was like, God.
They're still updating the multiplayer seasons.
Blimey.
And there was a stat the other day that popped out. It had more concurrent players on Steam than Halo Infinite. And I was like, oh.
Jesus. I want to go back through the original trilogy and get them, because they've got the little checklist of the missions and stuff, so I want to get that done.
Yeah.
I'm in a bit of a Halo vibe at the minute, so it could be done. It could be done this year. Who knows?
We'll have to take a rain check and see. 34. Ghosts of Tsushima.
Ooh. I like that game. That was very good.
I'm going back to do the whole game, Platinum and Iki's Island. Is it Iki's Island?
Oh, yeah.
Lovely 60 FPS. No, that's just going to be another experience that I'm going to savour and go back to. But it was an open world game that just tweaked things enough to give it enough of a fresh coat of paint where it didn't grind you down. Like just following the wind, for example, and the little foxes and the bird. Like, everything was kind of I just liked sitting in those fucking hot baths and having to sit down.
Getting his bum out.
Yeah, getting that tight arse out as he sat down and contemplated his life. And then you'd have those other bits where you could like meditate and do the like the poems. And there's no wrong answer to it. You could put together just your own thing, and they would. Yeah,
right, it was a lovely
Such
game.
A great looking game as well. Like
it was.
And
just stuff.
Important title for the PlayStation 4. That was the swan song.
Yeah, it was.
Came out after The Last of Us Part 2, and that was the swan song, and it was a fantastic looking game. And looking forward to jumping back into that and the inevitable sequel that'll be coming our way in a few years' time. 33. Reboot Heaven. Doom 2016. Did it.
This was a belter. Still is.
Still is.
Still is a belter.
Yeah.
Even on that trusty Switch. Deary me, but yeah, that is the rock and roll game. Well, not even rock and roll, that's metal gaming.
That is metal gaming. That is metal. Yeah.
But yeah, a real pucker first person. Short, another one, short, sweet.
Had some depth to it as well. Like, you could go back and once you'd unlocked a few more abilities, go back and find secret areas on the earlier levels and maps. Wasn't just I mean, it was if you wanted it to be, but you didn't have to just play it straight through. You could go off and find other bits. Stuff. Yeah, and the combat was just...
The combat was brilliant. The Ripley execution thing.
I love the balance between executing people and getting health versus
Yeah.
I think just killing them with the chainsaw, getting armor or ammo. And you had to kind of balance those attacks to
Really,
keep yourself topped up.
yeah, really had to sort of use all of your arsenal.
Yeah, it's like burn people as well. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
spectacular. I'd love to play this on PC. I mean, I could play it on PC because I've got it on Game Pass, and just put it on the highest FPS possible and just let my eyes just bleed out the back of my head. But yeah, what another revitalization of a classic franchise. I love to see that because go back to Doom now. Of course, it's a classic, but it's crude. It is what it is. But to have like a modern version that new fans can just jump in and say, "Oh, this is Doom." It's like it is the modern version of Doom, and it's faithful. It's what I would expect a modern version to be like. So excellent. 32. Portal.
Oh,
Been crapped on a little bit there in my view. I mean, that should. I mean, if this was Portal 2, I'd be more annoyed. I think 'cause I really do think that is exceptional and beats out Portal. But I'll let the rest of the Dimp crew off that it's at 32. We've already had Hades knocked out the top 100, so nothing will surprise me in this as we close in on the final third of this list.
Yeah, phenomenal game, brilliant, and just to show what you can do with that Source engine. Endless.
Mate, yeah.
It's fun. We've already had about 8 games that have been using that.
Mate, that's the ultimate. I think the little vacuum robot went off there. Frightened me. When Valve do video games, this is what they can come out with. So, carry on. 31.
I found something in my phone.
It's got in there. 31. Bloodborne.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
one still haunts me daily.
My view is that I can't imagine this is going to be left as it is. Someday there'll be a remaster stroke a patch that will make the game run nicely, and that's the time to dive in. And if they do a full remaster, it may look...
It's got to be time for a remaster now. When did that game come out? 2013,
2015, I think.
2015.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're coming up.
Or was it 2016? I can't quite remember.
2015.
Yeah.
March 2015.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, that was my first and only completion of a From Software game, so that's always going to be one up there for me. But the... Well, you know what? I do like it, but I don't think I'd like it as... I'm not... And this is... Well, this is the thing. I didn't go back to it at all. I mean, it runs like arse, let's be honest, but the setting and the style of it is just exceptional. But, look, this year will be the answer. I'm not sold on these From Software games completely like other people are. They make out the best games that are ever made. Elden Ring... I will be playing that in the coming months, and if that doesn't make it into the special category for me, I don't know what else will. I think I'll be like, well, I'll play these games if the setting and the vibe is really what I'm after. But I'm not going to go and play I didn't want to play Dark Souls 3 because I was like, I don't really fantasy shit. What's all this high fantasy to it? Like, I like the setting of Bloodborne was what pulled it through.
Yeah,
it's like fucking playing Castlevania in 2015. I was like, it was bloody hard though, but it's fun. Like it's good, great game, and to go through that sort of pilgrimage, as people say, go through a From Software game for the first time is excellent. Just that technically it had some glaring issues, but it is what it is. But then again, the next game, which is one of my favourites of last gen, you talk about technical issues. This ran like arse, but The Last Guardian pops in at number 30, and still, I'm begging you, Jim, to send someone back to that game and unlock the frame rate for PS5. Yeah, please. Don't need to upgrade. Don't do anything else.
It was like some sort of like lit thing, wasn't it? It's like you didn't patch it.
Yeah, you need the disc. You put it in and unplug it from the internet, and then play it native, and it'll be unlocked. But come on, look after these games.
That was an original game, a very different and original story, fun, a technical marvel. That dog,
that little, I mean, it just
what's it called?
Trico.
Trico, that was
Yeah.
it.
I understand people's issues with it, absolutely. As a game to play, if you're just looking to play a video game, it's frustrating as fuck, but it can, it sucked me in, hit me hard in the ghoulie, so I bloody love that game, and I think I always will. And if they do improve the performance on it, I'll 100% go back. You know what, even if they don't, I'll probably go back anyway. 29, Destiny, the original.
Showstopper.
Well, what I will say about... You done Wrath of the Machines with us, didn't you? That
Yes.
8-hour stinker.
Absolute Argos.
No, well, that was the second one. That was Destiny 2. But you did the OG last raid, didn't you?
Did the last raid, I missed out on a few of the beginning ones. I missed out on Crota.
That's it. But Wrath of the Machines was the king.
Wrath of the
That's the
Machine was
pinnacle.
the king.
And what I will say is that I've got love-hate relationship with Destiny in the series, but I can't not admit that was like, though, you know, Wrath of the Machines and Argos, they're some of the best of like multiplayer I've ever played.
Yeah.
Like,
just even their grind, it was fun. As much as we say it's a tarnished experience, there's a lot of hate in there.
There is still.
There is still, but I do miss it. I do like that game. I think it is good. It's something you need to commit to. It's a bit like a Monster Hunter game where if you're going in, you've got to go in full force and expect that grind and rot.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of them online nights where we'd spend hours and that just fucking, as disastrous as they could be, they were still a lot of fun. And like you said, the best multiplayer experience that we've had, I think, certainly for me.
I agree. 28, Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Oh,
brought it
classic.
Back. It is
real good.
Yeah, brought it back to life again.
Yep.
So I do love this game. I think it's excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it again. Actually, on this PS5.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about whether I'm going back to that. I absolutely will. It's
We found out earlier that we'll be getting it for free. So.
So I wonder whether I'm assuming that the achievements will carry over, or I don't know how they do it.
Well, you probably could if you pull over your save. I reckon it'll pop again.
Yeah.
But it should be a PS5 new achievement thing. But you probably load your save.
Mr. X roaring round, chasing you down.
Forgot about that. that was 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Than the old, what's it called? I could deal with her, but he was a bastard and then he'll start following you. You go down and you think, I'm in that fucking hallway. You can't get me in here. And then he starts storming in. You're like, right, what are you doing here?
That little bastard.
They should have done it in the save rooms, just fucking for a laugh. Just let him in.
Well, to be honest, I was shocked the first time he barged his way into the main hall because there's a save point there. I was like, he won't come in here. And he came storming in. I was like, God, get me out of here.
Absolute stinker.
Yeah, but there's so many ways you can play this game. You can play it through once. There's another campaign to play through, which is basically a remix, so it's not all that. Yeah. But it's one of those games that you can kind of just run through, and if you get really familiar with it, the replayability, all the unlocks that you can get, the outfits, the guns, the weapons, the unlimited ammo on set, like you can have a lot of fun just replaying this and unlocking all the good shit and just getting better and better and doing it quicker and quicker. And you see people do it in like under 5 hours, and you're like, bloody hell. Legit as well. They're not glitching it. They're doing it legit. They just know the game so well. And I enjoy watching those sort of speed runs. But that was you couldn't pay me to play Resident Evil 2 the original. But this is the modern version of it and a great platform. I'm still annoyed that I haven't done the original like this. Oh, I've already remade it on GameCube. I'm like, but you got those tank controls. It's still fixed camera crap.
Yeah.
Let's get it modernised, you lazy bastards. But we'll see.
Do it right.
Capcom are absolutely swimming in money. Not in large part thanks to this and Monster Hunter. Number 27, Horizon Forbidden West. So maybe some recency bias there, but found its way in. Atkins had to walk away from it. He was so disgusted.
Disgusting behaviour that was. Yeah, it's one that we'll go back to and quite soon, I'd imagine. I want to get that polished off. Maybe go for the plat, depending how long that's going to take. But yeah, I don't know. Something didn't click with this for me. And I think it was because of the overbearing essence of Elden Ring nagging at me going, play me instead. And now I've got that done and dusted. I might even have a bit more of an open mind, but
full reset required.
Yeah, maybe it should. To be, I should give it the love it should deserve because I did like the first one, but no.
It's an easy plat.
Yeah,
You haven't even got,
I was
to
another
get all
one.
the collectibles. Like you've got to get like
Oh,
20% of them. Piece of piss
that's
plat,
pretty.
if nothing else. But yeah, no, I enjoyed. I mean, it's at a disadvantage, but it was obviously Zero Dawn had just being new was almost enough, and
Yeah.
it's not to say that it was just a new game, Zero Dawn, because it was a great game as well. But Forbidden West didn't have that luxury. It was, the big, we kind of knew we understood what happened in Zero Dawn and story wise and whatnot. So, well, they had a bit of a tough ask,
Yeah.
and then they probably lent too far into the story elements. And if you're going to do that, you have to make sure the story is. I think the overall story is good, but there's the side stories and other things. Perhaps, we've had The Witcher 3 out since 2015. It's still benchmarked. Like, still nothing seems to be able to get close to it in these open world games with side quests. So when you put that amount of content in on your second game, you don't get close to that. I think that's where it hurt. And then, I think you're right to mention the Elden Ring come along and sucked all the energy out.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, I don't even know if I can play a game with waypoints and quest markers anymore. I'm like, well, I don't know. I think you'll enjoy them when you get back and find out how simple life can be. But
yeah, that is true. Yeah.
yeah,
We'll feel,
it is what it is.
yeah.
Hasn't had time. I think that's 27 is not too bad. This is a disgrace for many reasons. It's a watershed game. Not because of the game itself, just where it is and what it signifies in this list, okay? This is... I'm just double and triple checking that what I'm about to say is correct. If not, I have to cut it out. And I think it is. This is the highest ranked Xbox exclusive / first party game at 26. So everything else above is Nintendo, PlayStation, or third party.
Oh.
100 games, and they ain't got in the top 20.
Deary
People
me.
question why I don't love me Xbox at times. And then the game itself's not exactly a fucking blowaway, but Halo Infinite.
Oh. Not even Gears 5. What's happened here then?
I don't know if we need to speak about that. Just leave it as a just next. 25. Now this actually is from Xbox as well, but it's not exclusive. Minecraft. It's an old classic.
Okay. Now that is, yeah.
Wallop.
That was a whopper. A whopper. I saw a thing, I don't know if it's real, but an augmented reality version of it. So it was like some bloke was like on a floor that had like a square floor and he was like digging into the ground. It looked amazing. But yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. On the 360, I had the console edition of this, and I had it on PC as well. Like, it was great for those months that we played it. Like, it really was enjoyable. You have to have it's one of those games where I think, like, you get the most out of it if you've got a bit of creativity about you. Like, Hall, some of the stuff Hall would make was just like, I'd come in after a session, like, if I hadn't played and he'd been on it, I was like, bloody hell. He's made an absolute...
Did he try to recreate Wakeford once?
Yeah, we did start doing that, and we never got round to it. We never got round to it for two reasons. One reason, it was a logistical nightmare because those idiots, agreed on the plot point before I got there, and then I was like, "You're going to run out of space." Like they put it on a part of the map that had sand and had hills. I was like, "We need to relocate. The starting point needs to be clear. It needs to be just flat." And we had arguments about it and never went back to it. But then those prats went and did the Ender Dragon without me, so I was absolutely fuming.
Livid.
But it's become an institution, Minecraft, much like Fortnite. Popularity's up there, and it's still. I don't know if I'd ever jump on it nowadays. I feel like I'm kind of past that. But I'd be interested if you put Albert on it, whether you'd think it was.
Thing I wanted because it's. Yeah, I've always thought it's a great game for kids because it's just like an imagination. It sort of just helps them develop that.
Virtual Lego.
Exactly, yeah. But I should put it in, but I think he might struggle with the controls and I don't think he's ever played a first-person game. They always seem to.
Those creepers will come out of the woodwork and scare him off. He'll be crying again.
That is true.
24, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, daddy-o.
I mean, if you're going to
Do a remake.
If you're going to remake one of the most beloved games of all time, you better get it almost 100% right, because they will come for you. And
They did.
They did.
How good.
okay, the game. Okay, it's not complete. The story is not. The saga is not complete for Final Fantasy VII, but they have. They've not shit on. Not fouled the nest. They've modernised it. The characters feel. I mean, this just comes with tech, voice acting, motion capture, etc. Everything feels just much more believable, a bit more, immersive. And then to boot, you've got an excellent combat system with your materials and your ATBs, and my second Final Fantasy game through to completion, and this was just excellent in my opinion.
An absolute belter, an absolute powerhouse. There's only part one. Still got. I assume we got three parts. Who knows?
I've seen a playthrough of the whole game of the original. I don't know how they're getting that in 3 parts.
Yeah,
I've done 5 hours out of 35, potentially.
that is insane, isn't it?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they. My main fear of this is it never gets finished.
Right, yeah.
But if they do, it could be something really cool. And
I need to watch that video you sent me the other day.
Oh, mate, yeah, yes. That is unbelievable. Did you know Gaming's video about the Metal Gear Solid 5 nuclear disarmament forward operating bases online, mate? Go and watch that as a tip for the well-rounded gamer. 23. Wow. Destiny 2.
Oh,
It was an upgrade, I think, on Destiny.
upgrade, yeah.
Campaign was better, and this is the platform they're building off now. I doubt there'll be a Destiny 3. It's just going to be Destiny 2 until they decide to close it out. And those in the know will tell you that Destiny inherited a lot of problems that they could never fix, and Destiny 2, they built themselves a better platform. And the Witch Queen has recently come out this year, and that's been hugely adored by the fans. So we've gone through a raid on that on Argos, and gunplay's still solid, the grind's still there. Those moments still exist if you're willing to go through the sacrifice, and then you're laughing. 22, big one, Elden Ring.
Oh, nearly got to the top 20. But it's not being played enough by the Dimp gang. Well, how many? 4? Biff been here. There was 4 of us, wasn't there?
Yeah. The way I did, I don't know how you did yours. The way I did my list was everything I had played, I ranked, and then everything I hadn't played, I put below those games, but in the order I want to play them. So this was the top of my non-played list, but it was I played most of these games almost, so it was quite low down. So it didn't get many points off me, but it's still to get 22 between you, Biff, Salmon, and Adcock.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, that's decent. Yeah, phenomenal game. Real, no hand holding, a learning curve. And a good introduction to this. If you want to get into that Soulsborne series, this is a good one. Although it will fuck your life
surely
up.
Too long.
Yeah, very long, very too long. Actually, yeah. If you could do. What?
Miyazaki said you could do it in 30 hours.
Yeah, no chance.
I thought
you've got to be an absolute pro to do it in that hours.
Maybe on New Game Plus.
What would Bloodborne be? 30 to 50?
Yeah, I think when I clocked mine in, it was 37, and I felt like I'd done 50, but I was like, oh, okay,
right, yeah.
That's less than I thought, but this is like 100.
Yeah, this is 100 minimum.
Like for most people.
I seem to have done it quite quick for most, comparing. I've done pretty much everything there is to see. I don't know, it must be just quite quick, but.
Pro player, mate.
Pro, you see. Yeah, MLG. But, no, very good, very good.
21, Rocket League.
Cool.
What a sensation that ended up being. Funny enough, just before we came on here, I was on the Discord server and I was just having a little look at things, and then I saw Logan and Pee Wee both playing Rocket League. It's still going after all these years.
Absolutely rot on it still, don't they?
It's a good game.
Yeah.
Old Mezit there getting his assist.
Still I remember playing a couple of times with you and the boys, and getting the assist. That was quite fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a simple sort of game, really, and it just take two cars, or essentially two cars, or a team of cars, and little football game, but brilliant.
And you're off. 20, big one. Pokemon Go.
Oh,
The game that made everyone healthy for 2 weeks as they went wandering around looking for Pokemon.
absolute fucking blow. No, that was the game.
We went out the other weekend. Pee Wee's still playing it with Logan.
Yeah,
He wanted your phone, didn't he? So he could transfer over any higher.
I haven't looked to see what he's been taking.
Highest rated Pokemon game on the list is Pokemon Go.
Oh, but no, that was when that came out. That took the world by storm. It was Nano. It was like the Wii.
Yeah.
Nano had one. But yeah, no, it was something different because we didn't do any of that.
No, I remember playing in the office. Like I'd go to work, and on the walk to work, I'd do it. Then when I got there, I'd have it out on. It'd fucking melt my battery all day. But then I'd see like a rare, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'll try and capture that." It was definitely a thing, and still is a thing. It's crazy.
I never played it. They changed it for when there was lockdowns because we couldn't go out walking about. They changed it so you could fucking like walk around the map with your hand or something. I never played it with that.
No, I didn't.
I'd have had a look.
Definitely
Still
uninstalled it. Number 19, Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Oh,
So the spin-off, has made it into the top 20. Launch title for the PS5 is also available on PS4. Insomniac again. And if you're going to do a spin-off of the Spider-Man that came before it, this was a much more digestible chunk of Spider-Man, and still, in many ways, just as good. It's fun to play as someone else. I think they've done a really good job for Miles, the character, and we'll see how that manifests in the sort of full sequel, which is still, as we speak, tabled for 2023.
Yeah, that's going to be good. And again, technical Marvel piece. You're going into buildings within seconds. You're out.
Yeah,
that is ridiculously quick.
Yeah. It's a good game, absolutely, and I think they've done a good job now of building out Peter Parker and then Miles. So I'm interested to see what they do with the full sequel. 18, Astro's Playroom.
Oh. Now that is a real dark horse for the goatee game of the generation. Now that was a freebie. That might be the best freebie I've ever got.
Best packing ever.
Yeah,
has to be.
Alex the Kid was.
Other than I think Super Mario World was packed in, and like you said, Alex the Kid was. But I think that's better than Alex the Kid.
Yeah,
I don't know about Super Mario World. That's a big statement. That's a legendary game. So maybe not. But this is like a big celebration of PlayStation, the brand. Like, and it's a competent 3D platform as well. It shows off all the new tech for the controllers and the haptics and the adaptive triggers, 3D audio, like. Really good game, like so competent, so good. So I will be going back to that.
Yeah,
I'll be resetting my save and collecting it all again.
Yeah, just do the lot. Try and go for the platinum again without unlocking it.
Yeah.
But no, that was brilliant. Even Albert loves to play that. It's fun for all.
Fun for all ages. 17, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
God, a lockdown lover.
That wasn't it? Yeah, them turnips.
That's what got us through that misery of life.
I just love the fact there was a website dedicated to turnip price trading. Like, it was just so insane that we would.
Still going?
Oh, I don't know. It must be. What
was it called? Turnip?
Oh, I don't even know what it was called now. But I had it bookmarked for months.
You didn't. Yeah, here it goes. Turnip Exchange. There it is. Still going.
Turnip Exchange.
Oh, you have to pay £1 now to join it.
Mate, I can't believe they didn't charge it to start with. It was like
Hey,
it was the
that's
place
big.
to go. I think they eventually started giving you, if you was a patron or something, you could get like a queue that had different people in it or first access. They did start to try and monetize it, but yeah, that came just as or before the lockdowns all got enforced, and it kind of was just it was all on it, building our islands out and having fun. It was a nice jolly game, and then the meta game of trying to get rich from turnips became the obsession.
Billionaire.
You know, it was what it was. It was a product of its time, and it was a product of that time of how everyone was living.
Still my most played game on Switch, I think.
Yeah, it will probably be
140
close to
hours,
mine. It won't be far off.
More than Elden Ring. I'm stuck in that game. Jesus.
16, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, the remaster. I mean, they're excellent games in the day, but they've just, again, you treat these older games with respect, bring them to the modern forefront. Not a lot of complaints.
No, absolute stellar. Soundtrack was back.
Yes.
Game felt like you were playing it like it was on the PlayStation.
And what a testament that is to a game that came out so long ago that it's still... I mean, maybe they did tweak it. We'll never know because we haven't got the original, code to go. I've got a PlayStation to play it again. But
no, I've got PS2 upstairs.
give it a go and see if it feels the same. Might feel like arse then. You're like, cool, they really smoothed this out.
Them polygons, what that must look like now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But they didn't crap on it, and that's half the job there. 15, Doom Eternal. So we spoke about our love for Doom 2016. In my view, this kind of built upon that, so it was just as good, but just better in many ways.
Yeah, I really like this. I wasn't expecting it to be as good.
I didn't like those Marauders, but
they were.
it is what it is.
It was utter carnage. That last,
God,
that last third segment, really. The last.
What were those optional challenges you could do? Those Reaper gates or something? I can't remember
Oh yeah, that was right. Yeah.
Oh mate, some of those were
They
just
were stinkers as well. Absolute carnage.
Yeah.
And that was what we said about the original was you having to use all your arsenal. This just added upon that, so you just had more things to add. And
this was Metal 2.0.
It was absolute headache of a game, but a brilliant headache.
Yeah, I like what they did with the story with that as well. It wasn't like in your face or anything. They've done some cool lore pieces for people that have been fans of the original.
The same day as the turnip.
Yeah, it did. Survived the turnip. And then beat it out in the list.
Yeah.
It's done all right out of itself. 14. Breath of the Wild. Or should I say The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Some say the second coming of video games. The Dimp crew say no, only good enough for 14. So
it was good. It was good. I still want to go back through it.
Oh yeah.
I think you was going to go through it, wouldn't you?
Yep. And again, because the sequel's been moved to 2023 and we've lost Starfield, I'd be disappointed if I didn't find time to really dig into that game and tear through it.
Yeah.
But,
Barren Wasteland.
Yeah, the
weapon degradation.
Weapon deg. They're both stinkers, but the physics and the puzzles and the way you can actually interact with the world if you experiment is... the story I always remember is I remember I picked up a load of resources, like wood and apples, and I put them down. I put a load of apples. I went to put them down by the fire because you put them near the fire, they cook and they give you more energy, like little things like that. So that in itself is great. But I put them down, and then a gust of wind blew all the apples away. I was like, "Fucking hell! I've lost my lunch. Just gone rolling off down the hill." But I loved that connection to the world. And there was things like if there was a lightning storm, if you had a metal sword, the lightning would be attracted to it, so you had more likelihood of being struck by it. So you had to change your weapons out, like. And then all the powers you get, like if you really do experiment with those, you can have some fantastic. I've seen people do some crazy shit on that game.
Yeah,
even all these years on.
I was gonna say they're still finding things now. They found like this metal wardrobe in a castle, and they managed to drag it from one side of the map to the other, and they're like launching themselves across the map with it. It's fucking insane.
Bloody believable.
It's the real. That is the Switch. When people think of the Switch, you think of
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Launched on it, and obviously the Wii U, but
Yeah.
that massively helped the Switch. Let's be honest about it. 13.
Cool, unlucky for some.
It Takes Two.
Oh,
The baby crier.
the
It's scaring off kids, so how's it getting that high?
that is that is harder than Bloodborne and Elden Ring combined. Playing that with a 5-year-old. Fucking hell. There was bits. He could do it, but he couldn't jump. He couldn't make the simplest jump. He could do other. He killed bosses in seconds, but the little simplest jump, and he couldn't fathom it. I was like, right. But no, I wasn't expecting it as either when it was announced. Like
No.
a way out, it looked fun, like it was a co-op game.
Yeah.
Did you remember there was an EA game? It was like a co-op game called. I can't remember what it's called. You were like two. Let me have a look. It was like a co-op game on EA, and you were like a fucking soldier bloke. And I remember thinking, is it just going to be like that? What was that fucking game?
Army 2.
Army of Two.
Yeah.
Well done. That was it. Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a bit like that with this, and obviously then A Way Out had a bit more of a story to it. So this, I did not expect the hype it got. Like, it didn't even come out to hype. There wasn't much hype. It was just, it came out and people were like, no, this is a decent game, a very special game.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to finish it.
It will get done. It will happen. 12. Shadow of the Colossus remake.
Oh, now we're in the upper echelon, aren't we? The daddy-o.
So I want to say this, and this is a weird string to make, but you know how, I don't know if this is true for Elden Ring, but the criticism is there's not much of a story there to follow, unless you read, and I don't know if that's true. That could, Bloodborne, you couldn't really, no. So my argument is, and they say, well, what could they do? And I always think, well, yeah, maybe what could they do, the game like this, but imagine if Elden Ring had a story like Shadow of the Colossus, like if the bosses were presented in that way, and Shadow of the Colossus for nothing else is just one of the best showcases of a game that tells a story with such minimal guff.
Yeah,
It's straightforward, you understand it, and it's emotional, it's impactful, and on top of that, it's a really interesting game to play. So my argument for Elden Ring is like, why couldn't they do something like this? Like this would imagine how special that would be.
The whole thing was brought in to do.
Yeah.
Fucking Romero, no, what's his name? George
R.
Ron Martin. What's he doing?
What's Ron Martin playing at again? Goodness sake, Ron. Liquidating the club down. But Shadow of the Colossus still stands tall amongst giants because it has that element. And like I said, when you sit down and play that game, Barren Wasteland, isn't it?
Barren Wasteland.
That's part of the
clip on it. Its charm.
No.
Like that climbing up them fucking bosses.
Yeah.
Gripping onto its fur. You're like, right, what we playing at?
The sense of scale is incredible.
Insane, isn't it? Yeah.
And
but gorgeous as well. Another one. Them fucking. I cannot wait for the next Blue Point. I want to know what they're working on.
An original title.
Yeah.
Written by Jim Ryan himself. So he's got a story to tell.
The story of Jim. That's what it's going to be. His own autobiography game.
Oh, God, don't.
Brilliant.
But no. What a great job Blue Point done to remake that. And obviously the original. I played the original long, and I think you forced your way through it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I bought it on PS3. I had that, Eco,
yeah.
And that like a double pack, and played through both of them.
Yeah,
and then went through the remaster, and I loved them both. They're special games.
No, absolutely. Team Eco were, again they were a product of the time, but they made some great games. It's just good to see Sony that managed to revive Shadow of the Colossus. I'd love to see an Eco remake in the same vein.
Yeah,
go for that again.
That could do with it, to be fair.
Do the triple pack. Do this Last Guardian, then Eco. Then we'll laugh him. PS5 ray traced. Number 11 misses out on the top 10 spot.
Oh.
It's a bittersweet for Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. God, yeah.
Now,
Game.
this is a great superhero game. It's a great game. Spider-Man's, in my view, the best superhero out there, so I've got bias towards him. Batman's good, but he ain't got webs.
Yeah.
The question people have is it the best superhero game out there? A lot of people point to Arkham Asylum or Arkham City. They won't point to Arkham Knight, especially on PC. But many will point towards Spider-Man and say that's the best version of it.
Avengers is the best. It's got everything.
Guardians.
No, I think this is the best. Yeah, the best comic game. Very good. Yeah, the story was great. It was played like a Marvel game. You had the fucking end credit scenes. You love in life. It really did, and it made you feel like Spider-Man. The city looked great. I would like to go back through this. I never played it with the new character, the new fucking chopped his face off.
Oh yeah, and it's been remastered to 60, so
so I'm not really at the full experience. Only Miles.
Yeah, it's worth doing before the second one. I might even do a Spider-Man and then a Miles Morales double up, and then get ready for Spider-Man 2. But this was I don't know how Sony and Insomniacs locked this down for the PlayStation, but it's been a massive success financially, and people love it. I think it's an excellent game and deserves its space on this list. Top 10 now. This is serious stuff.
Go on, a big league.
Number 10. I don't know how I didn't fix this. Okay, just before I wanted to say I did not fiddle with any of this. Is just what was the surveys dished up to me. Number 10, Telltale's The Walking Dead.
Oh, pips it. I remember putting it high.
Okay, that's interesting to hear.
I can't remember where. Maybe even made top 10. Maybe not top 10, but it definitely was high. Because I found it and I was like, right, what are you doing down there? And I remember dragging it out going, no, you got to go up higher. You're very good.
Yeah.
That was that first series.
Yeah, that first series.
It's all I've played. It's all I've played.
No, to be honest, these are the best. So
yeah, but it was. It didn't come out before Last of Us, did it?
2012 it came out.
So yeah, it
would done. Year before.
Yeah. I think this must have been the first game to make me cry, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unless I might have cried at Metal Gear Solid.
Sniper Wolf! Where have those tits gone?
But in terms of like an emotional story, this grabbed my bollards and got the old tear jerking going. Yeah, just a story choice like this was... Telltale were about, weren't they? You had like the Jurassic Park and the fucking...
Yeah, they were nothing. No one cared about that.
Yeah, but this was the one that made Telltale.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just the characters in this game, the story, the choices. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It still holds up.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
I know you're a big fan.
Oh, massive fan. This was like what kicked off my whole obsession towards the Telltale game. And I think I've played every game since to varying success and enjoyment. But this was the one that started it. And at the time, I loved The Walking Dead as well. So this was like a great harmonic kind of gelling. I had no idea what to expect, but as soon as I started playing the game, I was like, wow, there's real choices and consequence to be had here that are going to last throughout the game. Like even into episode 3, there's callbacks to what I did in episode 1. I was like, ooh.
Very good,
They weren't long. You just bang an episode out, and I was playing it as it came out, so I'd wait. But even if you bought the full season, you do a couple of hours and then better stop. And yeah, there's no it's no surprise that where Telltale sort of excelled and accelerated so quickly after this, but unfortunately they kind of started blowing it in the later years, and now kind of they exist, but we'll see what comes out of it. But this was the one that put them on the map, no doubt about it. And like you said, there's the storytelling and the characters and the impact that you'd feel as a player was
they were weighted decisions, weren't they?
It was never There was never an easy decision. You'd always... And you'd go back to those screens at the end, and this is the very small detail.
I
But
used to love
you
that.
go back to those screens at the end, and you'd see you was like 45, 55 minority, and you think, oh, damn.
That used to burn. Everything, yeah.
Such a clever little feature. And
that was a great feature, that was.
I've no regrets about making people play this game when it came out. I was like telling everyone, I was like, just play it, just play it, just play it. And they all got hooked. I remember Biff saying that he'd play it on the train because you get it on mobile at that point.
Cool,
he'd spend like he'd finish, probably get halfway through an episode, but he said he'd get to work and then think, I feel like I've done a day's work just sitting there going through that grueler. So yeah, bleak, not uplifting, but great story, great characters, and for a little plucky team like Telltale to pull that out, that is something special. And it was tied with the game above, so this went down to a tie break. Similar sort of themes. Number 9, The Last of Us Part 2. Has all the money and just pipped it out, but...
Pipped it out. Another phenomenal game. Decisions being made. We talk about decisions.
You talk about what Druckmann's done there, and there was at least 2 other options that were far easier and would have been far less polarizing, and yet they came along and said, no, we have this story to tell and we're going to tell it, and they went for it, and I think pulled it off absolutely. For something, because The Last of Us is looked upon as one of the greatest games of all time, to then come along and be so brave with the sequel when you know people are going to be angry. Yeah, that's just like, for me, like the special. That's just like, I love that. We could have got a Last of Us 1.5 and been happy, but it wouldn't have been as interesting as 2. Not a chance in hell. This was such an excellent follow up to a sequel, and do we get a part 3? I don't know, but even if we don't, these two, this game is as a sequel is a blueprint for others where you can, if you're brave, it can pull off. And I know people still don't like the game, so maybe that, but I don't.
We're wrong.
I don't think they care either. I think they're like, well, part of it's like the reason we told this story is to, annoy you, not to antagonise you, but it's like you're not always going to get what you want. Yeah, you don't. You don't with this game.
Phenomenal. And I want to play. That's another one. That could be another one on this list.
60 FPS patch now.
Patch. There's plats to be got.
There is plats to be got. Yeah, I'm going back. I'm doing basically. I've got a list of games, and they're in date order. So I'll go back to the oldest game, and I'll just work my way through. Yeah,
good idea. I like it.
So I've got probably a few years before I get to this one, but an impending sequel will accelerate things. So let's see. Yeah, let's see what they do. Number 8, we've said that this is a benchmark for side quests.
The big one.
And to be fair, it's almost it was and is to me a benchmark for open world action RPGs. It's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt 2015.
2015. That's same year as Bloodborne, was it? Yeah.
7 years ago, The Witcher 3 came out.
I bought that. Did I buy that and do it? When was it? No, it was 2016.
That was, yeah.
Maybe I just bought this on its own, but went Master Race.
Yeah, you got to play the best version of it at the time.
At the time, The Witcher. Ran like a pig, if I remember.
Oh, did it?
I think it wasn't too bad, to be fair. Absolutely. I think it's probably that rig because it was such a powerhouse. I remember just getting to that Novigrad and being like,
brought his to his knees.
Can't see it, but that's how you do an open world and make a world feel alive.
Yeah.
You got likes of Arkham City and bloody Breath of the Wild. That's how you make a city feel alive. Cunts roaming around on their old shoes. Getting attacked, gnarled up in bloody side quests galore and good side quests, and a fucking RPG to boot where you can play who you want to.
Yeah, excellent. 7, Super Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, we mentioned this earlier.
Nintendo's highest rated game. So that's it for them.
Cool.
The cafe is closed for any more Nintendo fans. Mario Strikers, unsurprisingly, not going to make the top 6 or 7. One, because it's not out. But yeah, I mean, this was I think that came out in 2017 along with Breath of the Wild, but I enjoyed this much more. I found it. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I really did.
Yeah, it was great.
Hatty.
The worlds were brilliant. They were fun to explore. Getting them fucking moons.
Oh yeah, those moons.
Them moons. The story was fun. The like crescendo at the end of fucking Diddy Kong or whatever it was. And it looked lovely as well. Like never thought a fucking Mario game you'd be going, cool, Pixar.
Yeah. And like having the hat mechanic where you could take over all these enemies that you'd probably fought across hundreds of times over the years was fun. Like, oh, this controls like this, and this is what I can do with it. And like you said, finding the secret moons and the hidden moons, there's always another dangling carrot, and they constantly stretch that throughout multiple worlds and zones that are interesting. And New Donk City, there's just an excellent phase of that particular map that's excellent. And I think that's definitely a well worthy in the top 10 at number 7. Some people don't get on with it, but I thought it was excellent.
Incredible.
And
Owls played. This is
on Odyssey.
On Odyssey, his own profile from day dot. I don't know, you ain't gonna be able to see it, are you?
It's not in focus.
It's not in focus. 120 hours played.
Bloody hell, Albert.
He has absolutely demolished that game. He's nearly got all the moons. It's unbelievable.
Bloody
I don't know how he's done it. 120 hours in that game.
Probably be number 1 on his list then. To send the survey to him next time. Absolutely. Number 6. Now this will go down. The Last of Us.
Oh, too low. Oh, Last of Us, number 6. Didn't even make top 5.
I'm shocked at 5 when we get to it. I don't think you'll be happy.
But, wow. Yeah, what a game.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke. This is.
I was going to say, there's not much more to say on this.
Other than I suppose you're disappointed it's not higher.
Yeah. Well, for
6.
me,
Not even a top 5.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, that is too low for that game. That's a top 3 contender at least.
You're probably right. Number 5. So this is what knocked it off by. It's quite a big gap here. It's like a good 20 or 30 points.
Cool.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
the new open world RPG. Aloy, lead character, getting bollards tickled.
Unbelievable. How's that happened? But no, a very good game in its own right. But that's not worthy of. I really did like that first game.
Oh yeah, honestly, I don't know. I didn't have low expectations, but I was fully expecting not to be that good because Guerrilla and Killzone. I was like, but that world is excellent. The machines, the design of those are excellent. The combat is excellent. Story, especially in that first one, in terms of sussing out what's happened, is excellent. And
mystery.
Yeah, it's a solid entry. And like out of, I guess,
played it again, didn't you? Got that?
Yeah, I went through and got the plat and done the DLC, which was good. And I suppose from the PS4 era, as a new franchise, so Last of Us wouldn't count because it landed on the PS3. That's for me the best one out of the new stuff that happened. And we had Spider-Man and we had Ghost of Tsushima. We've seen The Order. Like that for me was Sony's best work in terms of a new IP and a franchise. So, I'm a bit shocked that it's beaten out the heavyweight of The Last of Us, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Like, more people would have played it.
potentially, yeah. I mean, Salmon may well have sandbagged The Last of Us because
Oh, yeah.
stealth, he says.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Walked away from it. But no, Zero Dawn is that's a perfect example of a new IP entering the realm and stomping its authority on there. So, as much as it, top 5 is not a concern for me. Number 4, the game that just keeps on selling and has been re-released several times, GTA 5. The longevity of this, the enjoyment of it the first time round, the enjoyment of it the second time round, the enjoyment of the online. I don't know what else you can say about that game.
I was going to say, it's endless fun. Still holds up. Still playing. Do you know anyone who's bought the PS5 version? Oh, you bought
I've
it?
purchased it as waiting for a slot to play it through again. It was like, because on PlayStation it was cheaper, wasn't it, if you're PS Plus?
Oh, that's right.
It was like £8, and I was like, wow.
That's a sick one.
If it's in the first 3 months only, I'm going to get that, so I did.
Yeah. Oh, fair play. I wondered if Loading or someone had bought it to play it.
Chuffed it off, but number 4 is GTA 5, and they've re-released that on current gen, so it will have another few years at selling, and it'll be what it is until we get GTA 6, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 3, God of War 2018. The heartbreak doesn't make number 1 for me. I still think this is pound for pound.
Pound for pound. This is the Kamara Usman.
Yeah, this is the well-rounded single-player video game that if aliens come down to Earth and they go, "What's a video game?" I go, "Well, just play this. This is a really good blend of all the elements, all the modern elements of what makes a great video game. It's got good story, excellent storytelling, great storytelling, special storytelling, in fact. Combat is fantastic. The world that they set it in, like, this was before we got Valhalla, so the Norse mythology is a great setting, and on top of that, resurrect Kratos from a character who was one-dimensional at best in the original games to be someone that is not only a decent-ish human being struggling, grappling with who he is, but in many aspects he's like relatable. Like you couldn't relate to Kratos before. I mean, I saw him fucking run a wheel over a woman because she was holding the door open of him, and I was like, Jesus Christ, who are you? But he's a changed man. It's that story of growth, change as you get older, etc., and special game. And again, it's another franchise that just from the depths of the PlayStation 2 has been brought back, well respected, and now has a new lease of life.
Yeah, incredible. Cannot wait for the sequel. Even though I was a fan of the originals, but this is different gravy.
I totally agree. Number 2, they're at it again, Rockstar, with Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm surprised to see that higher than GTA, to be fair. I mean, I'm not arguing. It's a very, very good game in its right, but I thought GTA 5 would pip it.
So GTA 5 is like the fun fuck about. Red Dead Redemption 2 is like the serious, like, let's get down to business. Cowboy shit.
This is cowboy
shit, and we're going to tell you that again. Tell you a fantastic story about this gang and Arthur Morgan. Like, it's a prequel.
Listening to these games, it just makes me want to play them all
I
again.
know. It's terrible, isn't it? But Red Dead 2, like, it was up against it because Red Dead Redemption, the OG, is well regarded, rightfully so. Yeah. Everyone loves John Marston, and this was going to be, this was a prequel to that, and you're kind of like, how do you even make that, one, interesting, and two, something I care about? And they did. And it's this ginormous, massively big scoped open world that looks phenomenal. Has this exploration that you can go off and just hunt and your beard grows, your hair grows, you can camp out. You have all the random elements that happen in open world Rockstar games, and then it's all just in this Western package, and again a genre and a setting that we don't get a lot of. So when you get a great I think it's a great setting to have, and get a good Western game come along, it's always worth looking at. And Red Dead Redemption 2, just as a sequel, serves a great purpose against its original, sort of similar to The Last of Us Part 2. It's not as, I don't think it's as brave, certainly not, but it does it more than enough to earn its keep alongside it.
Very fucking good.
Number 1.
We've made it.
This is a shocker. Can you guess what it is? Do you have any idea?
I'm trying to think of what.
I don't think you're going to be too disgusted. I don't think you'll be disgusted. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm shocked, not because I don't think it deserves it, because I think over time I have incorrectly forgotten and not respected this as much as it should. But I remember at the time this was certainly something that I adored and loved. Number 1, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Oh, I've completely forgotten that.
That is a stunning upset for the rest of the boys.
That is, but yeah, wow, that is wow. I am shocked. That is a fucking brilliant game. Funny enough, I was watching someone play that yesterday.
Are they playing the Legacy of Thieves collection? Or?
Yeah, the Legacy of Thieves collection. It was, we're in the car and the open world bits, like the thing is like, I can't remember what it's called now. But just seeing that in motion and that again, I was like, I've got to play through that again.
Well, now we've got the remasters, the £10 upgrade.
Yeah.
That's on the list, believe it or not. Well, you know it's on my list, but
yeah.
This is what kicked off the PS4 for me, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one, I played Infamous and a few other bits and whatnot, but as like a first party proper game, I was like, whoa. Whoa. This is exceptional high quality. I know it didn't come till 2016, so we'd already had Bloodborne, but in terms of quality and precision and again, there's a different tone to this game compared to the other Uncharted for sure. Because old Henny kicked out on her ass and Druck managed to take over.
The Drucks, and he just fucking absolutely wiped the floor, and Australia as well.
Yeah,
the pair of them, and they just done
grappling hook.
Yeah, it weren't even just a story. They made the story more sort of gritty and raw, and really looked into the relationship between Nate and Ellie. No, not Ellie. Elena. And then the combat to boot, the fucking exploration, the grappling hook, like you say, just adding that mechanic.
Yep.
And then the fucking cutscenes, just high quality motion capture. Troy the Boy and fucking Nolan North. Exceptional movie quality. Have you seen the film?
Not yet. That's on the list. I see they've pulled a few of the levels out from 4.
Yeah,
so
it's watchable. It's not, it's not as good as the game. Obviously, it never is, but it's watchable, and you can see where they've got their ideas from. But no, this game was like Tomb Raider came along, and it was like, and then the boys went, "I want that, but male version."
Yeah,
that's where Uncharted came from.
Yeah, look, superb game, high quality. And the fact that it's on the top of this list says a few things. That one, it was obviously palatable to people outside of the higher end enthusiast market like me and you. So I know, for example, Logan loved this game and played through it and whatnot. And a Biff.
Most people.
Like anyone who's picked up and played it is in the Dimp realm.
Even you got the likes of Chappers played it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it has that appeal, and it won by 11 points. So it weren't being fucked about with, and it took the title and Idle Game Chat's top 100 games. Uncharted 4 takes the bloody crown.
Good thing.
A thief's end, and that's how we're going to end this list. It's been an absolute whopper of an episode for people who've listened to the whole thing. There's several segments to episode 100, and I know there's people that have made it this far and have just listened to this list, etc., etc. But obviously, we absolutely appreciate all of your support, the listenership, whether it's on Patreon or Twitch Prime, or whether you just listen and tune in every week. We absolutely love the fact that you spend time with us most weeks until we have bank holidays and put feet up. And that's it. Episode 100 is in the fucking books, Adkins. People will be listening to this for 3 months because it's so long, but we're getting their money's worth.
That's been emotional.
Yeah. And look, we'll be back next week with episode 101. Yay! The train does not stop.
The hype train has just begun, not begin. Cool. Bubbly me.
Yeah, we're a bit pissed up now, having a bottle of bubbly each. So, you spilt all yours. So I don't know. Mate, that's good.
I was going to say,
I didn't fry your PC and in the transmission.
I think I'm the keyboard.
Sticky mess. But no, as I said, thank you all for joining us. Have fun. Do whatever you're doing this weekend, or if you're listening to the week, enjoy yourselves. Happy to spend time with you, and nothing more for us to say here, though, other than thanks for your time. And ta-da. Cool. I didn't sort the outro.
Didn't record it.
Fucked it. Let's just leave that on. I fucked it on our episode 100. Here we go. Here's the outro. No night.
This was a Dimp Digital production.